technology, from spy balloons to cyber attacks. And they use TikTok to target our kids and push their propaganda.
Conservative fighter Pete Ricketts.
That's why I was the first governor in America to ban TikTok on state devices and help pass a law banning our adversaries from owning TikTok. Now I'm working to fight China spying and stop the communists from buying our land. Enough is enough. I'm Pete Ricketts, and I approve this message.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
For over 40 years, Claybaugh Pharmacy has been your trusted, family-owned, full-service pharmacy. We provide traditional medical options, medical equipment, immunizations, and over-the-counter products. We take pride in going above and beyond to improve the health of our community. And to ensure you have a seamless experience, manage your profile and refills with a touch of the finger from home. Claybaugh Pharmacy in downtown Beatrice, your hometown family-owned pharmacy.
How liberal is Dan Osborne? Get this, you worked for your Social Security, but Osborne would give those benefits away to illegal immigrants. It's a slap in the face to seniors. Social Security benefits for illegals? Dan Osborne is so far left, he's not right for Nebraska. Deb Fisher fights for us. She stood with Trump to secure our border and protect Social Security. President Trump endorsed. Deb Fisher for Senate.
I'm Deb Fisher, and I approve this message.
This broadcast is brought to you by Stock Seed Farms in Murdoch and by Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska. This broadcast is presented by Currency. Currency makes financing quick, easy, and secure for machinery, ag equipment, and more. Visit GoCurrency.com. Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose. Find out more at LibertyFirstCU.com.
Thursday night football in the capital city. It's a district showdown in Class C as Lincoln Lutheran gets set to host Conestoga. And good evening, everybody. Welcome on into Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm Tim Hackett alongside Andy Klassen and all of our crew here on News Channel Nebraska. Andy, looking forward to some Thursday night football here in Lincoln. Two teams that have combined to win just one game to this point of the season. Yeah. This game represents a big opportunity for both to get an elusive midseason win.
You know, it really does when you have two teams that haven't had the season they've envisioned thus far, but schedules have something to do with that. Very front heavy for both squads. And as you mentioned it, we're expecting a very competitive game against two teams that run two different styles of offense. Should be a lot of fun.
Lincoln Lutheran 1-4. Conestoga is 0-5. Somebody's going to walk away from this Thursday night with a win. When we come back on the pregame show, we'll take a look at some players to watch for both teams as we get you ready for kickoff here on News Channel Nebraska.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
Welcome back to the pregame show here on News Channel Nebraska as we get you set for kickoff between Conestoga and Lincoln Lutheran. Andy, players to watch for both sides. Let's start with Conestoga. Yeah. They haven't had the same quarterback all year, but Dylan Canfar has taken the reins over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, and he's not the biggest guy, only 5'8". But what he doesn't have, you know, height-wise and all those measurables, he has with his head. And this offense really suits him well. He's a shifty guy. I saw him running the option earlier in warm-ups. Looks really good on his feet. And that's where Conestoga wants to, you know, play through their offense is with that power rushing attack. Canfar gives him that really good option.
And on the other side, Lincoln Lutheran, they are a very adept passing game. And Glines, their starting quarterback, is the head of the pack.
Yeah, Braxton Glines. He's more of your traditional gunslinger. 6'1", 165, only junior. He can fill out a little bit bit more, but man, does he like to get that ball down far, and he utilizes a couple really good weapons that we're going to be talking about all night long on the edge. Real good job of spreading the ball around. This is going to be fun, watching these two different style quarterbacks square off here tonight.
Canfar has taken the reins for Conestoga over the last couple of weeks, and Glines has been one of the top passers in Class C here in 2024. We'll see those two signal callers on the field in a few minutes. When we come back on the pregame show, we'll hear from both of our head coaches tonight. It's Lincoln Lutheran against Conestoga at the top of the hour here on News Channel Nebraska.
The pregame show is sponsored by Custom Sports. Look great for every game with custom team or business apparel from Custom Sports.
More than 80 communities across the state count on Nebraska Public Power District to power their every day. And like a dependable neighbor, we work tirelessly to make our communities a better place to live. From preparing them for economic growth, to partnering in local events, to educating tomorrow's workforce, we are charged with creating community connections that are just as trusted and reliable as the electricity we provide. NPPD, powering our state, empowering our communities.
Nebraska, it's time to celebrate our community heroes. Do you know a local hero who dedicates their time to make your community better? Someone who leads with a vision for a brighter tomorrow and inspires others to join? Nominate them today for the Community Hero Program, thanks to Medica. Each month, one Nebraska hero will be chosen and will get to choose a nonprofit to receive a $1,000 donation. Let's honor those who make our community shine. Community Hero, celebrating the heart of Nebraska.
Welcome back to the pregame show on News Channel Nebraska. We're close to kickoff between Lincoln Lutheran and Conestoga. Tim Hackett now joined by Lincoln Lutheran head coach Sean Weeding. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. You're 1-4 so far this season, but you've played an excellent schedule to this point of the year. A lot of really tough teams. Yep. How would you assess your team's performance so far here in 2024?
Well, I mean, our kids have been tough. I mean, we've played every game we've had so far has been against an undefeated team. So this is actually the first time we played a team with a loss. Not to take anything away from Conestoga, because they have some great kids, and they're going to play extremely hard. That's what they show on film, but our kids are going to play hard too, and we're just excited to have another opportunity to play the game, a great game that God gave us the opportunity to play.
And you're out here against Conestoga tonight here in Lincoln. What are some of your keys to success in this game here?
Our keys to success are we just need to play fast, physical, and together. You know, that's three things that we talk about all the time and get all praise and glory to God. Is He gives us the opportunity to play. We're missing some of our brothers that are sick and can't be here for various reasons, but you know what? These guys are here and they can play and they're ready to play and they're excited about it.
We're excited to see you play. Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming out.
That's Lincoln Lutheran head coach Sean Weeding. We'll be right back on the pregame show, getting close to kickoff between Lincoln Lutheran and Conestoga here on News Channel Nebraska. Welcome back to the pregame show here on News Channel Nebraska. We're getting you set for kickoff between Lincoln Lutheran and Conestoga. I'm Tim Hackett, now joined by Conestoga head coach TJ Quick. Coach, thank you for being here. A couple of questions for you. First of all, you're 0-5 on the season, but you're up against a 1-4 Lincoln Lutheran team here today. What is your best opportunity for success here tonight?
You know, first of all, offensively, we have to, string some things together, get some first downs, get some points on the board, try to do what we can just to gain some confidence. Our offense is lacking a little bit of confidence lately, and that's the biggest thing for us. Defensively, we have to play our game. Everybody's playing their assignment football, and we got to make some tackles, make some plays, and get some turnovers would be a plus for us, and possibly get some score from our defense would be great too. So we got to build confidence. That's our biggest number one goal for tonight is having confidence and moving forward.
Speaking of the offense, I know you've changed up some of your personnel over the last couple of weeks so quickly. What can you tell us about how that looks tonight?
Tonight we'll start Dylan Canfar at quarterback. He's a junior. He's also our starting kicker, and there's not anything different from our starter before, Logan Ludd and Dylan. They're both great football players. They're both very heady football players, and they'll put us in the best position possible. So nothing really changes there, and we got a few changes in our at receiver and running back. We're a little bit dinged up. We got quite a few kids that are missing tonight because of injury. So we'll see what we can do.
Thank you very much for your time, Coach. All the best. That's Conestoga head coach TJ TJ Quick. We'll be right back with another interview. Pre-game show continues next on News Channel Nebraska.
This broadcast is brought to you by Stock Seed Farms in Murdoch and by Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life.
Welcome back to Lincoln, Nebraska. Just a few minutes away from kickoff between tonight's Thursday Night Football showdown on News Channel Nebraska. It's time now to take a look at tonight's starting lineups as Lincoln Lutheran gets ready to take on Conestoga. 1-4 Lincoln Lutheran against 0-5 Conestoga. Both teams with a prime opportunity in the middle of their season to pick up a mid-season win.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And when you have a scenario like this, both teams kind of circle this one knowing that there was kind of front-loaded on the schedule. As we take a look at Lincoln Lutheran, the Warriors, and there's a couple players we talked about down on the field.
Braxton Glines is the one who makes this offense click, Andy, one of the top passing quarterbacks in Class C so far here in 2020.
And he carries himself like a top-flight quarterback. You know, I've already mentioned his measurables, 6'1", 165. But, man, he's got a couple of really nice receivers in Costin Mall and Trenton Urs. That's where he's going to be looking early and often here tonight.
Let's check out the Lincoln Lutheran defense on the other side. This is an opportunistic team. They haven't had a ton of takeaways so far this season. It seems to me that their success has been predicated on their offense, but this defense no slouch either.
And a lot's going to be put on Braden Egge and Evan Hawley with their leading tackler, Cruz Fiddler, going down with injury. Those two linebackers are going to have to step up and really fill the void that's being left due to Mr. Fiddler not being able to go here tonight.
We're taking a look at the starting lineups brought to you by Medica with a medical heft plan. You're not just covered, you're cared for. Now let's look at the starting lineup for Conestoga, and they've had a couple of changes within the last couple of days. First, the Cougar offense. Biggest storyline, TJ Quick telling me before the game, wide receiver Monte Henry unavailable tonight. So we will see a little bit more of Evan Moracle and Logan Lutz.
Yeah, tough break for the Cougars. We already talked about how the injury bug kind of struck the Warriors offense. Well, same can be said here for the Conestoga Cougars. And, hey, we're in the middle of the season. Injuries happen.
Absolutely. And now let's take a look at the Conestoga defense. We get ready for the national anthem here in Lincoln. Again, Monte Henry, starting safety, one of the top players on this Cougar defense, unavailable. So we will not see number 8 for the Cougars here tonight. 4 minutes away from kickoff. We'll take a break and we'll come back and get you ready for kickoff between Lincoln Lutheran and Conestoga. That's next here on News Channel Nebraska.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
More than 80 communities across the state count on Nebraska Public Power District to power their every day. And like a dependable neighbor, we work tirelessly to make our communities a better place to live. From preparing them for economic growth, to partnering in local events, to educating tomorrow's workforce, we are charged with creating community connections that are just as trusted and reliable as the electricity we provide. NPPD, powering our state, empowering our communities.
Lay the foundation for increased harvesting capacity and a successful harvest by ordering a new John Deere combine during Landmark Implement's early order program. Upgrade to the latest model and maximize yield potential with advanced harvest technology. Customize your combine and secure the best discounts and financing options of the year. Contact your local Landmark Implement today to order your new John Deere combine and experience the Landmark difference.
Minutes away from kickoff between Lincoln Lutheran and Conestoga on a Thursday night from the capital city. Tim Hackett and Andy Klassen here with you, getting you set for kickoff. Now let's take a look at some of the rankings to this point of the season in Class C2. presented by News Channel Nebraska. If you're a Lincoln Lutheran fan, Andy, you're going to see a lot of familiar names on this list because this team, the Warriors, they have played an excellent schedule, a ton of top-tier teams already this season and coming up this season, and some of those names are on this list right here.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Bishop Newman's one of those schools, Raymond Central. You got Malcolm coming up here. It really, Boone Central as well. I mean, it really puts an emphasis on, hey, we have a winnable game at home. We got to take care of business here in Lincoln tonight because, as you mentioned, it's kind of a murderer's row, top 10 matchups a couple of times here on out.
And Lincoln Lutheran has played a bunch of great C1 teams already this season, but not to be outdone, let's make sure we underscore this. All of these teams that you just mentioned are in this district for these two teams. So not only will Lincoln Lutheran have to play them, Conestoga's got to play these teams as well. They just played Malcolm last week. They've got Raymond Central and Bishop Newman coming up. That is a tough sled for the Cougars to finish the year.
You know, we just mentioned Raymond Central. They're 5-0, and Lincoln Lutheran played them last week and played them really well. Dropped that one 32-21, so they're able to hang in there. And here's an undefeated team within this class, within this district, as you mentioned, Tim, and they're only ranked 8th. That's how stacked and even things are in Class C2.
Yeah, again, this district is loaded. It's not what this district looked like last year. Lincoln Lutheran was here last year, but Conestoga was not. They were playing 8-man football last year, moving back up here into the ranks of the 11-man world, and so far, not so good for the Cougars. They've had an adjustment factor getting back in here to 11-man here in 2024.
And you know that some of this is just growing pains, right? And it's to be expected. It's going to be a tough first season, making that transition from 8-man up to 11-man here in C2. And let's be honest, Conestoga is not the biggest school in southeast Nebraska. So there's going to be a learning curve to this. It's going to take a season or two. But I really like what head coach Troy Quick had to say. Very positive guy. Looking forward tonight. He knows he's got an opportunity here on the road.
Face value, this is a 1-4 team against an 0-5 team. I think you go under the surface a little bit. It's not quite that clear cut.
Right.
But at the end of the day, somebody is going to get an important mid-season win. Here we go. Lincoln Lutheran will get the ball first, and we're underway from the capital of Nebraska. Deep kickoff, fielded at about the 10. Lincoln Lutheran will move it out.
Uh-oh.
Trenton Ernst back up the middle of the field, and a strong return for the Warriors to start things off. Ernst is a name that we will be calling quite a bit on both sides of the ball, Andy, but especially on offense. And again, as we said in the pregame, that is where this Warriors team has made its money, if you will, so far here this year.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And Ernst kind of shaking his head because, I think he knew it right away. Caught an illegal block flag on the very first play of the game. Referee Kurt Lott threw the yellow hanky. Looks like we got a block in the back, so that's going to bring that really nice return middle back 15.
Good call by you. Ball was spotted at the 36-yard line, and there you go. Penalty against Lincoln Lutheran will back this first drive up.
So a little bit of a break here for the Cougars. Kind of got out of their lanes on that kickoff coverage team, but saved by a block in the back, and that's going to back up the Warriors of Lincoln Lutheran.
So officially all the way back to their own 16-yard line. That will be where they start off their first drive of the game. We mentioned this team has played a ton of great teams so far this year. A lot more coming up, but Conestoga, their opponent tonight, in their first year in Class C football in about a half decade on defense. Lincoln Lutheran's first pass attempt. Here's Braxton Glines. We will see a lot of him throwing the ball tonight, and he tries to link up with his running back, Henry Prokop, and it's no good. Incomplete on first down.
Really like that defensive play call there from Troy Quick in his sideline. Getting aggressive, running a little bit of a stunt up front, but that extra linebacker with the blitz right up the middle, that forced the issue. Maybe had to throw that pass a half tick earlier than he wanted.
Expect a lot of passing plays from this Warrior team tonight, and right on cue. They will go on the ground to Prokop, who had a great game last week against Raymond Central. Rumbles out to the 25-yard line, and a gain of about 9 for Prokop on the first play for him.
Yeah, really nice blocking out front, securing that edge. Logan Lutt finally did catch up, the senior who plays a little quarterback and linebacker for the Cougars.
Third down and shorts. Lines to throw this way, knocked away. Had two receivers over there and getting his hand on it. Kyler Dobry, who's one of their top punters as well as an outside linebacker for the Cougars. An incompletion. Glines is 0 for 2 to starts.
Yeah, the lengthy sophomore almost made a play on this one. That could have went to the house the other way. I think if you're a Lincoln Lutheran fan, you feel pretty good that wasn't picked.
Warriors dodge a bullet for sure, and they will keep the offense out there on 4th down and 3.
No,
at least to start with. What do you think? Looking for the play clock here at Pius. Nope, it will be a quick punt by the quarterback Lyons, who is their top punter. It bounces at the 50 and reverses field, takes a little bit of a Conestoga roll. So the Cougars facing this really strong Warrior offense, Andy, they get a 3-and-out on their first possession of the Knights.
Yeah, it was just assignment sound defense, right? They brought a little pressure early on, gave up, a 9-yard run, but the linebackers flowed with the play and eventually, denied the first down, made the tackle. Then you saw a secondary guy get in a passing lane, bat it away, kind of take down that third down conversion.
So Conestoga comes into tonight at 0-5. They lost their first game in district play last week against Malcolm, one of the top teams in the region, as we already told you about. And a bit of a new-looking offense for the Cougars over the last couple of weeks, and a whistle before their first play. So we had a whistle on the opening kickoff, and now a whistle on the first play from scrimmage for Conestoga. And it will be a false start. Not really a surprise based on how that looked.
Yeah, illegal procedure. Tonight's officiating crew, Kurt Lott, who I already mentioned, he's the white cap, Jeff Lomax, Jim Tiblitz, Jay Soda, and Dean Schneider will be our back judge.
Back him up 5 yards. Conestoga now with the first and 15. Snap skips through the feet of the quarterback, Canfar. He'll try to tuck it and run, and he gets buried all the way back at the 30-yard line. Hayden Marr with the finishing blow. A penalty before first down, and then on first down, another loss of 15.
Yeah, sometimes it's just it's the little things, right? You got to get that snap up where your quarterback can, secure it, make a nice, receive it well. But that one was skidding across the turf. Tough opening couple of plays here, and Cougars are really backed up here on second down.
It's Gavin Meyer, the sophomore center, also the team's leading tackler on the other side of the ball. Second down and long for Dylan Canfar. He'll try to tuck it and run up the middle, gets tripped up before he can get to the 35-yard line. Good pursuit by Lincoln Lutheran. That's once again number 74, Hayden Marr, who just made that previous hit. He's on that hit as well. It's third down.
Yeah, and going 4 wide might not be the strong suit of Conestoga, but that's what they're kind of left with here with second and third and very, very long, just about a country mile, you could say.
You say when you've got a short yardage situation, Andy, your playbook's wide open.
Right.
Less of the case here on a third down and 15.
Yeah, I think that's what we saw.
Maybe third down and 20, actually, more like. One in the backfield. They'll try to pass it. Canfar to the near side. It's caught on this right side by Grant Tesaric, and he can't get to the 40-yard line. Rallying tackle by a couple of Warriors, including Evan Holly. And you mentioned pregame, Andy, we'll see a lot more of him tonight.
Sark did a really nice job reeling that one in because he was basically in double coverage, and the coverage was tight. Really nice job closing in on the receiver there from Lincoln Lutheran, not allowing any sort of cutting that ball upfield, making a run at that first down.
Tonight's broadcast brought to you part by John Henry's, our family serving yours. And the punt away from Canfar, who also is the punter for Conestoga. The return man gets run into, and now there will be a whistle after that.
Yeah, Merwald, he's your bullet. He's your outside guy. It's his job to get down there in a hurry, but he also has to know where that ball is. And when you see that hand go up for the fair catch, you got to get away. From the return man, ran into him and shook up a little bit here.
Costin Mall, the return man for Lincoln Lutheran, he did get shaken up after that hit. He's another one of these top players for the Warriors. We will see him in all phases, offense, defense, and special teams, one of their standouts.
Yeah, I really like that about Weeding, head coach Sean Weeding. He gets his playmakers the ball. He tries to figure out ways to get the ball in their hands. You saw it right there. With Mall back to return that punt.
So Lincoln Lutheran comes into tonight at 1-4. They lost their first game in district play last week against Raymond Central, as we told you about. But Raymond Central is 5-0 after that win last week. So that is by no means a bad loss. Here's a look at the penalty, by the way. It will be against Conestoga, not a surprise. But they're 1-4, as we said. But that's the record that Lincoln Lutheran had at this time last year. They finished strong. They went 3-2 in district.
Yep.
Finished the year at 4-5.
Right.
They have a chance to do that same thing here today, this season, I should say, if they can finish strong here this year as well.
Well, that's the give and the take of being in a really strong district as you have right now. You can. Your start can be a little shaky, but the competition on the back end can save you and allow you the opportunity to make up some ground and get yourself in a nice little playoff spot.
After the penalty, first down from across midfield. Here's Prokop, cuts back to the left, and Prokop has a first down run down to the 34-yard line. Best play from scrimmage for either team off of a standout game last week. Henry Prokop's got 2 nice runs tonight.
Watch how he keeps his feet moving right here. He gets kind of balled up, but he keeps those feet pumping. Nice little shimmy, a little shake there. And I like how he didn't bounce that outside, Tim. He's like, you know what, I'm going to take the yardage I can get. I'm going to get upfield. But wouldn't you know it, it's coming back with a hold.
This is, 4 penalties now that we've seen, and we haven't even played 5 minutes of game action?
It's frustrating enough for coaching staffs when you see a lot of laundry on the field like we've seen already. But both these teams have been awarded nice, really good field position, and they're kind of squandering it here, right? Backing themselves up with needless, careless penalties.
So first down at 16, play action. Glines fires it out the right side. There's Costin Mall with his first catch of the game out across the 40-yard line and wrapped down there. So first completion of the game for Glines. That was completion number 101 on the season. Nobody in Class C has passed the ball more attempts or more completions than number 7 for Lincoln.
And that's a high percentage throw, too, to a sure-handed receiver, Costin Mall. And they got back that penalty yardage and more. Basically got back to where that first down run ended.
No doubt. Second down and short. Man in motion out in the flats. Give it to Prokop running right side. Prokop first down there and out across the 30-yard line to the 28s. Another gain of about 10 on the ground for Prokop, and this one looks like it'll stand, Andy.
And how about Colt Fiddler? Big fella, senior offensive lineman up front, plowing the way. He had to come across the field and get upfield, kind of a pulling guard position there. Nice job leading his running back up the field.
You mentioned the passing game is really what this offense is predicated upon, but Prokop averages 4.5 yards per carry on the balance of the season. Give it to him again. Across the 20-yard line. Another strong run for Prokop. Give him 8.
And this is where you really got to appreciate what head coach Sean Weeding is doing, just riding the hot hand, letting his running back Henry Prokop do his thing.
I've shortchanged him. They gave him 2 yards after that, and he's got another first down on the grounds. Why would you change it? He's gashing him so far. I mentioned this passing offense has been so good this year. Might as well stick with it. Glines fakes the handoff. He will keep it, and Conestoga all over that one. Logan Lutt knows a thing or two about the quarterback position, Andy. He makes that stop on first down.
Yes, he does. Plays a little quarterback himself, and he's already had a really nice tackle where he had to go across the entire field to save that would-be first down run. That time, getting in the backfield, disrupting things, tackle for loss.
Lincoln Lutheran has only rushed for 2 touchdowns all year. Glines has 1, and Prokop has the other. It's just a testament to how integral he has been in this offense. Loss of about 3 on first down. Maul in motion. Glines rolls out, fires. Ernst makes the catch inside the 10-yard line. Taken down by a pair of Cougars at about the 7. Lincoln Lutheran's got first and goal.
Yeah, Ernst and Maul make a really nice 1-2 punch for this passing attack. And Ernst just did a great job just finding space, settling down, kind of in that soft spot in that defense and making himself available for his quarterback.
Those two guys average about 154 receiving yards per game combined. That is a really tough duo for any team to handle. First and goal from about the 6. Here's Prokop, left tackle, and he gets to about the 2. So a strong run on first and goal. We've seen them really rely on the run game so far, mixing it up a little bit compared to what they've done this year.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if, there we go, quarterback keeper. Nice push, initial push by that offensive line. There's the signal, in for the 6.
Braxton Glines gets it done. Prokop gets him down there. Glines punches it in, and Lincoln Lutheran strikes on their second possession of the night. Second rushing touchdown of the season for the junior QB.
I really like that, how they operated that, the Warrior offense. Just a quick count, got the quarterback up under center, no shotgun look. I don't know if the defense was quite ready for it.
You can see on your replay, Harper Clem, center, paving the way right down the throat of the defense. And Glines following suit for 6. PAT is up and good. And Lincoln Lutheran cashes in on that strong field position. We've seen a couple of penalties early, but the Warriors capitalize on their second drive. Number 7 gives them 7. 8:02 left in the first quarter. You're watching high school football on News Channel Nebraska.
Women have a 1 in 8 chance for developing breast cancer. Early detection makes a difference. Beatrice Community Hospital's Imaging Center can help with the latest technology, from screening with 3D mammography, breast MRI, breast ultrasound, and breast biopsy. All services conveniently located in the BCH's Imaging Center. Schedule your screening today. Incredible care, incredibly close.
Ashley Sleep offers mattresses for every level of comfort with affordable options that meet every style of sleeper. And right now, you can bring home a new Ashley Sleep Queen mattress for as low as $249.99. And for a limited time, save big on an adjustable base with the purchase of select Ashley Sleep mattresses. Give yourself the restful, rejuvenating sleep you need to be your best self this spring. Visit your local Ashley store in Kearney, Grand Island, and North Platte for better sleep and savings.
Temperatures dropping on a Thursday night in Lincoln. Game time temperature just around 80 degrees. For a hotly anticipated matchup in district play between Lincoln Lutheran and Conestoga. These two teams have combined for one win and a prime opportunity for somebody to pick up a midseason win with only 3 games left in the regular season after tonight. Good kickoff back through the end zone. That'll bury the Cougars back deep on their second possession of the night. Tim Hackett and Andy Klassen here with you and our full crew on News Channel Nebraska. Thanks so much for joining us. District 1 play and C2 football here in the state of Nebraska, the capital city. Conestoga making the trip a little less than an hour to west from Murray, Nebraska. As we told you earlier, they were a Class C team about a half dozen years ago, but they have been a Class D team the last 4 years and have seen some growing pains as they've moved back up from the ranks of 8-man into the ranks of 11-man. I'll ask you that in a second, Andy. First play of their second possession, Lutz on the carry, gets right back to the 20-yard line and not much further. It is an adjustment going from 8-man to 11-man.
Right, of course it is, and you got a lot of returning players that are playing that 8-man style. Then you got to put in additional alignment, a whole new playbook, a whole new defensive playbook. So, yes, of course, there's going to be some growing pains, and that's the elephant in the room. You know, they don't have the numbers that a lot of these C2 schools have in Lincoln Lutheran and others, especially, you know, you showed the top 10 there. Numbers aren't an issue for a lot of those type of schools.
Lincoln Lutheran has moved around a little bit as well over the last decade or so. Lutt on the give, blown up by this Warrior front. A trio of players were there. Josiah and So was there. A couple of other Warriors blew that up. It's a loss of 3 and third down and long.
Yeah, it's real tough when your running backs being caught in the, backfield behind the line of scrimmage. Like to see the offensive line kind of get a little bit better push up front and give them a little bit more running room to work with. It's not the case there on second down.
Harper Clem and Colt Fiddler, 51 and 58, there to bring Lutt down for a gain of 3. So he loses a total of 3 on his first 2 carries of this series. Third down and long for Canfar, the new starting quarterback. He gets taken down all the way back at the 10-yard line. Another tackle for loss.
Yeah, Lincoln Lutheran just so physical.
This one's by Rylan Ulrich, and it's fourth down for Conestoga.
Yeah, just so physical, so athletic up front. They ran a twist that time, and just about every single guy came running free after that move up front.
Fiddler was there first, 58. Ulrich finished him off, 55. That's a sack on third down, and this Cougar drive ends before it can even begin. We see both quarterbacks punt a fair bit this year. Canfar will do the honors here. Out of bounds over into his own sideline near the 30-yard line. This Conestoga offense has gone through some adjustments, and you heard from Coach TJ Quick about that in our pregame as well, Andy. Dylan Canfar was not the starting quarterback at the start of the year. Logan Lutz, who just had those 2 carries, he was. So those two guys have split time over the last few weeks, but Canfar has really been their best source of offense over the last couple of weeks.
Well, it also allows the little bit bigger senior, Logan Lutz, as you mentioned, to get into that running back position where he can probably help the team just a little bit more, be your primary ball carrier, and you can get maybe a little bit more undersized Canfar Dillon under center or in that shotgun spot to try and operate an option offense. It just makes sense logistically, and it gets one more playmaker out on the field there for the Cougars.
Look at this starting field position from the opposing 25-yard line. Prokop cuts outside and wrenched down from behind. Nice tackle, good pursuit by Louis Caniglia, who has not been a big piece of this defense all year for Conestoga, just 4 recorded tackles all year, but he was listed as a starter today and makes a tackle there.
Yeah, really nice job working down the line of scrimmage there, staying with the play. Saw the outside linebacker flowing well, keeping that left shoulder open, playing with leverage.
5th carry already of the day for Prokop. Make it 6. Cut step, nice run inside the 15-yard line. First down, Lincoln Lutheran. Strong run for Prokop.
Prokop's not the biggest guy, right? But he will get you those tough yards. Once again, working between the tackles. Really nice, quick move. Darts around that offensive lineman once he got engaged and made that block to spring him upfield another 4-5 yards.
Cole Murwald on the hit at the end of the run for Conestoga. Lincoln Lutheran right back into the red zone. High snap, again Prokop. Right tackle, cut steps, dives, goal line, touchdown. Prokop. This first quarter has been his, and he's got his second rushing touchdown of the season.
And I'm glad that he's congratulating his offensive linemen because they did some serious work for him that time. Once again, Fiddler, Agee, the whole group, and this is a patient run. Look how Prokop just kind of sat back and waited for those blocks to be set and then just kind of rode his offensive line into the end zone.
I love any time that we could credit the offensive line. Fiddler was one of the blockers. You mentioned a couple of others leading the way for Prokop. Again, this pass game has been the bread and butter for Lincoln Lutheran this season, but so far tonight, 2 touchdowns, both on the ground. PAT is up and good, and Lincoln Lutheran makes it a double. 5:09 left in the first quarter. 14-0 Warriors here on News Channel Nebraska.
So this yellow jacket, it basically symbolizes that it's showtime.
The Yellow Jackets are a throwback to Monday Night Football.
The 1970s, Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell.
That was the big broadcast in the country. Now we're the big broadcast in Nebraska.
When News Channel Nebraska is covering a game, we want you to know that we take it seriously. We want to dress sharp. We have pride in what we do.
And we're going to wear those yellow jackets to show people. Now we're a little old school, but we're also the important broadcast of the night.
At the racetrack or the rat race around town, fuel matters. Here, customers can expect the highest quality fuel that they deserve.
Through 5 games, if my numbers are correct, Andy, 2 rushing touchdowns for Lincoln Lutheran, and through less than 10 minutes of game action tonight, 2 rushing touchdowns for Lincoln Lutheran. Imagine that.
Yeah, they've been looking really good, and that's something that you got to credit the coaching staff. You know, running the football isn't usually how we operate, but tonight it's working, so they're sticking with it, and they're having some early success here twice now, producing touchdowns, as you mentioned, through that ground game.
And you know that if we can identify a trend from up here, then other coaching staffs certainly can better than I can. So if we're going into a game like this saying, look, Lincoln Lutheran has passed for 10 touchdowns,
right.
Lyons is one of the top passers in Class C2 this year, maybe they will change things up, like you said, now that you're thick into the season in district play. Maybe it's time to change course a little bit.
It could be. I mean, like you said, it's mid-season. You're kind of figuring yourself out right now. A couple of injuries have happened. It's forced some change. Ball's on the turf.
On the ground, out to the far sideline. One player from each side was there. It was Ty Walker for Conestoga. And looks like he's going to fall on it. Man, crisis averted for the Cougars.
Yeah, but you still had another negative play on first down for this Cougar offense. They're just not helping themselves, whether it's, ball getting on the turf or penalties. And real tough sled for this offense early on here.
Not counting penalties, I think that's 4 plays that have netted negative yards for Conestoga here in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's a real tough scenario to overcome.
All the way back between the 11 and 12-yard line. I mentioned Canfar's really taken over as this team's quarterback over the last couple of weeks. He'll look to throw, batted down at the line. Didn't even cross the line of scrimmage. 79, Isaac Schleicher gets his hands up there and forces third down.
Yeah, that pocket's just collapsing on the young quarterback, Dylan Canfar. I mean, there's just not much he can do with that other than get rid of the ball and save the sack.
Check out our replay brought to you by Beatrice Community Hospital. Incredible care, incredibly close, and unfortunately for Conestoga, Schleicher was incredibly close to Canfar on that one. Made it really difficult for a short quarterback. Hard enough to get it over an outstretched lineman's hands, but even harder on a situation like that.
Now we're looking at another 3rd and long, 3rd and 18.
Draw.
They will keep it on the grounds. And running into the thick of this Lincoln Lutheran defense, Rylan Ulrich is there on the stop, driving back. Looks like Grant Sarek on the carry for Conestoga. That's not something we've seen very often this season for this Cougar team. Try to shake it up a little bit, Andy, on 3rd and very long, and Lincoln Lutheran was ready for it.
You know, I don't mind the draw call, though. You know, it's a improbable low percentage play, you know, converting on 3rd and 18. You haven't had a lot of success through that passing game. Go ahead, call a draw, live another down, punt the ball away.
Check that. It's actually number 9, Ty Walker, on that punt for Conestoga. A little bit better than the previous one went. Ball with the fair catch at about the 40-yard line. He has punted mostly this year. As we said, Canfar is their top kicker, but Walker is their top punter. 26.5 yards is the average for number 9 in the Conestoga Whites. Canfar is their kicker. He's made PATs on every touchdown that they've scored of late. As we said, their offense has really struggled on the balance of the season. Conestoga has scored 6 total touchdowns over 5 games. Canfar's made the PAT on all of them. It's a little bit of a consolation, I guess, but they've scored exactly 7 points in each of their last 4 games and are facing a 14-0 deficit here with Lincoln Lutheran about to get the ball back. Timeout on the field, 3.5 left in the first quarter. This is high school football on NCN.
This broadcast is brought to you by Stock Seed Farms in Murdoch and by Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
This broadcast is brought to you by Stock Seed Farms.
A timeout called by Conestoga, their first of the game, and after the timeout, 4th possession of the night for Lincoln Lutheran, and Henry Prokop's been the story of the show so far, a gain of 9 on the first play.
Yeah, you know, I'll go back to if it's not broke, don't fix it. Prokop got off to a really good start toting the rock, so just keep feeding him the ball, right?
I don't see why not. He's had an excellent start to the game. This is 8th carry of the first quarter by my count. Slight man in motion, fake the give to him. Glines looks to throw, slings it this way, under pressure immediately. Good rush by Conestoga. That's Walker who just made that punt on the pressure as Glines tried to get it out to Trenton Cum. Incomplete 3rd down.
Yeah, Trenton Cum tried to slip out there at the end after making that little chip block. You said it, the Cougar pass rush didn't allow that play to develop.
One of the top tacklers this season, Ty Walker, number 9 in the Whites. Just saw him punt the ball a moment ago. Forces a 3rd down in shorts. Come again in motion. Lines up left side. Will they give it to Prokop? They sure will. Running off that strong side, tripped up across the 25-yard line. First down, Lincoln Lutheran once again. Cole Murwald on the hit, but Prokop picks up the first.
Yeah, really nice job once again, running with great vision, reading his blocks, cutting it outside precisely the right time there, Tim.
Hurry up offense as well after that first down. Back to Prokop, right side. Hit from behind. Grant Sarek on the tackle for Conestoga, but all the way down to the 18-yard line, so a gain of 7 on first down.
Another hurry-up look. The Warriors have had a lot of success here early on.
Quick hitter out to the far side. Maul with the hit. Slips through a pair of Cougars and then gets down to about the 12-yard line. So quick offense, quick hitter. This offense moving quickly here on this possession.
Yeah, they're playing with pace. Real good tempo right now. They look comfortable. They look in command. So I kind of like what they got going on here on the offensive side.
Second catch for Maul. First down from just outside a goal to go. Slinging it is Glines and just over top of his target. That's Trenton Ernst. We've seen him go for both of those top pass catchers now in back-to-back plays, and it's rare to see this link up not on the right page.
Yeah, Glines wants this one back right away. Put his hands on his helmet and oh no, I missed my guy.
Does not happen often. One of the top pass-catching duos in C2. Helps that you've got the one of the number one quarterbacks in C2. On the ground they go. It's not Prokop this time. That is Evan Hawley who's one of their other top running backs this year. 10 carries for 34 yards on the season for Holly. Also had a standout game as a linebacker last week against Raymond Central. His first carry down to about the 9-yard line.
Really nice job by Gavin Meyer, that outside linebacker. Only a sophomore, getting downhill, laying the lick. Going to bring up a 3rd and long here.
First down is inside the 3, so not a goal to go. Strong rollout. Glines hits his man in stride. That's Maul, pushed out of bounds, though, well short of the sticks by Evan Moracle. Decision time here for the Warriors.
Oh, they're going, right? I think they're going to go for it.
I think so. For some other teams, maybe more of a decision, but this team has not had a very good kicking game this year. Neither team has really, but Lincoln Lutheran has not kicked the ball very much this year. So 4th down and short, keep this good offense out there, at least for now.
They were backed up on like their 25-yard line. They lined up like they were going to go for it on 4th and 3, remember, on their very first possession. I'm like, no way.
But now they'll take a timeout and potentially think about things. Less than 90 seconds left in the first quarter. It's 4th down and short when we come back here on News Channel Nebraska.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of the pain, not just the symptoms. By Schaefer's, we are more than just TVs and appliances. And by Claybaugh Pharmacy, your locally owned hometown pharmacy.
First time out of the first half called by Lincoln Lutheran, and they will indeed bring the offense back out there on a 4th down and short, Andy.
Yeah, and Braxton Glines, a couple last words there to his offensive lineman and back.
And in motion, that's come. He will now line up in the slot to the right. Give to Prokop, running left. Prokop, end zone, touchdown, Lincoln Lutheran. 2nd touchdown in a row for Henry Prokop. All Warriors here in the first quarter.
And you can see exactly what Glines was trying to get across to his offensive line, saying, hey, this is a run left, and making sure that Prokop understood this is a slant to the left. Do not get out of line. Excellent execution there. And pretty good by the quarterback to go over the assignment one last time. I would say it was a good thing to do after watching the end result.
Early in this quarter, I should say, we saw the motion come out to the left. They ran Prokop left behind him on the strong side. This time they move him to the far side, and they run the opposite way. So they're showing both of those looks from that motion look. 21-0, Lincoln Lutheran is converted on their last 3 possessions. You're watching high school football on News Channel Nebraska.
When the game wraps up, or even before kickoff, our community welcomes you with open arms. The Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau is happy to have you here, and we want to show you what we're all about. From wide open spaces to music, shopping, entertainment, and more, there is always something for you to discover in our city. Stop by the Visitors Center at 7th and P in the Haymarket or visit Lincoln.org. The Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau is a proud supporter of high school athletics.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Western Oil. Make your first and last stop to and from the game at your nearest Speedy Mart or good-to-go convenience stores today. Use Safe Pharmacy, dedicated to the well-being of all our customers. And by Zollner Ford Lincoln, proud to be your local Ford and Lincoln dealer.
Well, good starting field position tends to breed success, and Lincoln Lutheran, after a 3-and-out on their first drive of the game, have started in enemy territory on their last 3 possessions, and all 3 of those possessions have ended in points.
And you could say that's a huge key here for this Warrior offense in Lincoln Lutheran, because the one time they got backed up by a penalty on the opening drive, they didn't have any success, right? They had to punt the ball away, but when they get the ball around the 50-yard line or better, they've been able to punch it across for the touchdown.
Shortest kickoff of the day, returnable here for Conestoga.
Nice
20,
move.
Nice cutback, and a good return for Conestoga as they try to engineer some offense of their own.
Well, maybe that'll provide a little bit of spark here. The special teams unit doing a really nice job with that return left. You mentioned the late move there, little jerk move. Got that toe in the turf, made a guy miss.
Out to the
Evan Moracle on the return for the Cougars. We will see a lot of number 3 and number 4 in the return game. If you're just joining us, absences on both sides, but I think it's fair to say the bigger story is the absence for Conestoga. They are without number 8, Monte Henry, who's one of their top weapons in the pass game, and a starting safety. So no Henry today for Conestoga. Big loss that TJ Quick told us about before the game. And somebody who plays in all phases of the game. Handoff, running right. Walker snowed under before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. More good rallying tackles by Lincoln Lutheran.
And we got another flag on the field. Let's see if Conestoga gets backed up another 10 here.
Not really surprised at this point, are you?
Yeah, it's just way too many penalties early on.
Both teams have been affected.
Top block called on the Cougars.
And will be against Conestoga here. Both teams have been called for a couple.
Yeah, it doesn't allow your offense to get in any type of a rhythm.
Yeah.
And it was a couple of drives ago, Lincoln Lutheran was able to overcome that penalty, but, you don't want to hurt yourself when you have an opportunity with good field position, good play on first down to then give it back through a penalty. And that's really been the story of this, first quarter here through Conestoga. Just getting backed up with these penalties. Self-inflicted wounds on offense.
That's a big one as well. I call it an illegal block.
Yes, I think they had 2 guys engaged on one defensive lineman.
Wow.
High-load him.
Have not seen that very much this year. A big loss for Conestoga before they can officially get a play. And here's another whistle. What have we?
Was everybody set? Illegal procedure. Back up another 5. No.
Another point for you, Andy. Nicely called. And so they lose 15 on the illegal block, and now another 5. So this drive, remember, started at the 24 after the kick return, and now they're all the way back at the 7. As we said, Conestoga with some growing pains going into this year here in 2024, but honestly, their return to Class D wasn't all that successful either. So they've had a tough time over the last few years stringing together wins. Face value and opportunity here tonight, but again, Lincoln Lutheran, probably one of the better 1-4 teams that we will see at this point of the year. Canfar running for his life, gets out of the end zone, cuts upfield and gets to the 12-yard line. Nice pursuit, but a good run by the young quarterback to get something out of that, and he ends up getting a gain of about 5.
Yeah, we talked about his athleticism, and this is where he can really shine, and you see it out on the edge. You're able to make a guy miss, then pick up some additional yardage. Whoop, slips that. Almost, he kept his feet there.
Tripped up just enough by Evan Holly.
And that's the end of the first
and that
quarter.
Will bring us to the end of the first quarter. A 3 and out to start, and then 3 straight rushing touchdowns for Lincoln Lutheran, and they are off and rolling here in the capital city. 21-0 Warriors after 1 quarter. You're watching high school football on News Channel Nebraska.
Just finished an epic game? Keep the excitement going with a stop at Good To Go convenience store on your way home. Refuel with a fresh coffee. Grab a tasty sandwich and fill up your tank to be ready for the next adventure. Whether you're celebrating a win or discussing the highlights, Good To Go has all your post-game refreshments covered. Make it a part of your game day routine.
Good To Go post-game snacks.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Does your business need help financing big-ticket items? Currency is here to help. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Midway Auto. For your next vehicle, go to thinkmidway.com.
Welcome back to Lincoln, Nebraska, on the campus of Lincoln Pius X, only about 5 minutes away from Lincoln Lutheran. Tim Hackett and Andy Klassen and our whole crew here on News Channel Nebraska. Thanks so much for joining us. Conestoga facing an early deficit. Short road trip for them, less than an hour to the west from their home in Murray. Second down and long. Canfar, the new starting quarterback, rolling out to the right. Another solid run. Lost the ball at the end as it pops out and bounces out to the 20-yard line, but they will call him down as he gets to about the 18. So he gets about 5 on first down, gets about 5 on second down. And as you mentioned right as we started the night, Andy, this is kind of not quite a full paradigm shift, but a change in approach for Conestoga with this new quarterback.
Yeah, you're seeing success with them moving the ball on the ground through the quarterback position. It's just, okay, 5 yards on first down, 5 yards on second down. That should be a first down, right? But when you get 15 yards and penalties that precede that, you find yourself in a 3rd and long. Here we go, 3rd and 16 once again.
Really, you mentioned if it's not broke, don't fix it on the Lincoln Lutheran side. That's true for Conestoga over the last couple of weeks. They've scored 1 touchdown in each of their last 2 games, and Canfar's delivered them both. But this one is going to be returned to sender. Swatted back down at the line of scrimmage for the second time in this game. And that's 55, Rylan Orich on that stop once again. Actually, 51 up there. Harper Clem, he has been all over the action for Lincoln Lutheran.
Yeah, unfortunately, Conestoga has been put into very obvious passing situations. That's allowed that defensive line to kind of pin their ears back and get after the young quarterback.
Canfar is just 17 of 44 passing this year, 39%. So 340 yards. When he completes it, it goes for a long yardage, but it's not been easy always to complete those passes as we have seen so far here tonight. I mean, let's just go into that a little bit further. So if my math is right, Andy, for Canfar, 20 yards per completion, which is insane. 7.7 yards per attempt, which also isn't bad. So when they complete those passes, they go for yardage, but it's hard for them to get that offense in sync, especially like you so well pointed out, on obvious passing situations like that.
So they got to figure out how to slow down the pass rush, and you can bet they're going to be talking about that during the break, and they don't really get to talk about that much throughout the halves because they have so many two-way players, and that's to be expected when your numbers aren't as high or as big as maybe some other schools within C2, C1.
Second quarter action supported by Steve Carper and the crew at O Street Carpets. Just the second time tonight that Lincoln Lutheran has started with the ball on their own half of the 50-yard line, though it is on the 45. Slight motion. Here's the give to Holly. It's tripped up before he could really cross the line, but he's able to fall backwards for a gain of about 4. Mason Page on the hit for Conestoga.
Yeah, Page was able to get into the backfield, kind of disrupt that play. Prokop still able to get a decent gain there, maybe turn nothing into something here.
And Holly, one of the top runners for this team this year, 10 carries for 34 yards, which doesn't sound like a lot, but again, they tend to pass it a lot. They will keep it on the ground. Holly again. Nice move by Holly to the 41-yard line. Combo tackle by Murwald and Murwald, the brothers Murwald, 4 and 6 with the hit for Conestoga, but first down on the ground for Lincoln Lutheran.
Do you love to see that? If you're a Lincoln Lutheran fan, Holly getting involved. He's just a sophomore, and he's having to step up and fill a big void on the defensive end due to some injuries. He also is getting some big-time carries here in varsity time through that running back position.
First down from across midfield, nice action, and a kind of a sneaky play there for Lincoln Lutheran. Had a lot of eye candy, and Prokop is ultimately who gets that carry running off left tackle.
Yeah, able to make another guy miss, gets the edge, picks up about half the yardage on first down. And now, yeah, like you mentioned earlier, your playbook is wide open. If you want to take a shot, you can do that. I wouldn't argue with them keeping it on the ground. They've been operating the rushing attack at a very high level thus far.
This has to be impressive for Lincoln Lutheran because they've got a couple more tough games coming up at the end of the season. Prokop runs right into Tesaric. Great stop that time from Conestoga. 12 in the white runs right into him. Grant Tesaric with the hit at the line.
Big kid is Tesaric, 6'3". Nice job crashing right down the line, taking care of his assignment. Works through a block, then wraps up and secures that tackle.
Really good hit. That was the 12th carry of the night for Prokop. By my count, the only one so far that has not gone for a positive gain. One for about 0, so third down and 4. The lines will roll out to the right on third down. Short throw, come on the catch towards the 30-yard line, tripped out as he crosses the 30. That should be enough to move the sticks, and it is. Ty Walker on the hit for Conestoga. Catch for Cum, rare one this year. He's not one of their top targets, as we talked about how good this passing game has been. But Trenton Cum, 3 catches for 19 yards and a touchdown, really speaks to the diversity of this offense this year. He makes the catch. First down, quick hitter to Ernst behind Ernst. He'll pick it up. Let's see what they rule. If it's a backwards pass, it's a live ball. And Ernst is going to pick it up and run inside the 25-yard line.
Little surprised Conestoga didn't finish that play. I didn't hear any whistles. Now the officials are going to talk things over, but Conestoga's running a little bit of a 5-2 look here. They're getting 5 defensive linemen crowding that line of scrimmage, really trying to get into that backfield, and disrupt this passing attack. But if they can't apply that initial pressure or something gets by them, that puts a lot of pressure on the back 7.
That'll be a run of about 6 for Ernst at the end of the day. Again, kind of a sloppy play, but Lincoln Lutheran takes advantage. First catch of the evening for Braden Eggy. Another one of these top targets, 19 catches for 127 yards and a touchdown for 83 for Lincoln Lutheran. His first grab, first down in the red zone. Go the Warriors once again. Passing game starting to click a little bit here in the second quarter. Lyons looks to pass, has all day. On a comeback route, here's Maul. Ooh, and a couple of Cougars run into each other as Maul gets to the 10-yard line. Everybody appears to be okay. That's Canfar, number 5 in the white with the thicker helmets. We knew we would see a lot of him on the as a cornerback as well as the quarterback for Conestoga, and he is down and looks to be winded.
Yeah, Dylan took quite a shot there. We could hear that all the way up here in the crow's nest. I got my headphones on and I could hear it.
Friendly fire, I believe, as well from Conestoga.
Yeah, hopefully he just got the wind knocked out of him. Give him a second, give him a breather here.
8:21 left until halftime, and attention on the field for Conestoga cornerback Dylan Canfar on News Channel Nebraska.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy.
Dylan Canfar able to walk over to the sideline. Good to see. Up after he got winded after that hit, but walking back under his own power, escorted, but not navigated over to his own sideline. Good to see.
Yeah, it was just really good chemistry between quarterback and wide receiver. Maul coming back to the ball in that little soft spot of that zone defense on the outside.
Ball at the 10-yard line. Lincoln Lutheran in striking distance again. Here's Prokop. Breaks through the first wave and gets inside the 5-yard line. He has had a brilliant night so far. Hit from behind by Aiden Struble, one of the starting guards on both sides of the ball for Conestoga.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, Tim. If you're going to crowd the line of scrimmage and bring that extra guy down in 5 down linemen, if that gets pierced, and we've seen that happen, Prokop has been able to kind of get upfield. It's really tough, puts a lot of pressure on those 2 linebackers trying to gobble up the middle of the field.
Do they go to him again? They sure do. Prokop, touchdown! It's a hat trick for Henry Prokop. 3 straight touchdown runs for the Lincoln Lutheran tailback, and the Warriors add 6 more.
Feast or famine, right? If you're a running back at Lincoln Lutheran. Tonight's the night, though, getting it done through the ground game. Henry Prokop saying, feed me some more, I'll take it.
A lot of feasting, to be sure. 14 carries, 3 rushing touchdowns for Prokop tonight. He had just 1 on the ground all season. The team had 2 through 5 games, and they've run for 4 on their first 5 possessions of the night. PAT up and good. This offense has looked great so far here tonight. Passing game and running game in effect on that drive. 7:45 left until halftime. 28-0. Lincoln Lutheran with the lead.
Liberty First Credit Union. It's for you. You live in Nebraska or the surrounding states? Then it's for you. Want to earn cash back on your transactions? Then it's for you. Are you ready to start banking with purpose? Then Liberty First Credit Union? It's for you. We're not your typical credit union. We support you with personalized banking that's open to everyone. Start banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. We're for you.
Hey, sports fans, heading to the big game tonight? Make sure you stop by Speedy Mart before you hit the stadium. Fuel up your car and grab your favorite snacks and drinks to keep your energy high. Whether it's chips, soda, or a quick meal, Speedy Mart has everything you need to kick off your game night right. Don't miss out. Swing by Speedy Mart for all your pre-game essentials.
Speedy Mart, snacks before the game.
Second game in District 1 play for these 2 squads here in 2024. Lincoln Lutheran was in this district last year, but they're seeing a lot of new faces in district play this year, Andy. I'm new to the area, so I'm kind of figuring out how some of these things work, and there's a lot of changeover from year to year, both in classifications, like Conestoga moving back up here to Class C, but here Lincoln Lutheran has been C2 over the last couple of years, but they are seeing a lot of new foes in district, Conestoga, of course, being chief among them here tonight. Returner goes to the outside. That is Mason Merwald, gets pushed out there at about the 20-yard line. So only one of their fellow opponents from District 1 last year is in this district again. So it's kind of just an in-name-only thing I've learned for high school football around here. Coaches this year have told me, winning your district is great, but it's not the be-all and end-all. So, but it's just interesting to me that in name, they're in the same district. Obviously, they haven't moved. But there's only one team that they played in district last year that is still in their district this year. That's Malcolm, which is obviously the team that Conestoga saw last week.
And sometimes if you're in transition, you're going from C1 to C2, your schedule will kind of look similar to from the previous year. Then there'll be a whole new schedule trying to catch up to all the new teams in your district and your new classification. So some of that's to be expected.
New quarterback Lutt is in with the injury to Canfar. He will pitch it back out as he gets tagged, and Ty Walker gets that toss out to the right side.
Ty Walker did a really nice job slowing down, securing that pitch, because he had to come back and get it.
Warriors over there.
I'm not surprised to see Lutt in, Andy. Injury aside, I figured we would see both of these guys get some look at quarterback here today. That's been kind of the MO for Coach Quick and for Conestoga really this whole year, but especially over the last few years.
Yeah, and Canfar took a real big shot there on the defensive side. So, yeah, if you have a quarterback at your disposal that maybe a year older, has a lot of experience under his belt, this is a good time to get him in.
Logan Lutt was the starter at the beginning of the year, and as we said, it's been Canfar the last couple of weeks, and this running play goes backwards. Great pursuit, great pressure immediately by Lincoln Lutheran, and the running back stop. That's Walker again, all the way back at the 10-yard line.
A horde of Warriors on that tackle.
Yeah, just too much penetration for that Warrior defense. They've been just living in the backfield of Conestoga all night long, and, they've been able to get a lot of that pressure with their just 4 down linemen. Now they are getting creative. You're seeing some twists, you're seeing some stunts. Guys going underneath, kind of showing their athleticism there. They're big guys too. There's some big fellas on that defensive line.
Sophomore Harper Clem at the head of the pack yet again. Empty set on 3rd down and 22 and whistles first. Poor Walker has gone for negative runs on each of his first 3 touches today, including the 2 on this series.
That flag came from the line judge. Quick communication between him and the referee, and it's another illegal
Conestoga was already moving back before the call was made. They knew what was coming.
Yep.
And it's a big loss personnel-wise for them with no Monte Henry, a guy who does so much for them, one of their leading receivers, a guy who's carried the ball a fair bit, starter as a safety as well. So Coach Quick told me before the game he's not playing. I appreciated that candor.
Yeah.
And that's a big loss for Conestoga.
And the Cougars are trying to play with a little pace there, play some tempo, but you got to get everybody set before you snap that ball.
So here's Logan Lutz in his first series at quarterback today, under pressure, as he throws towards the middle of the field, and too tall for Tasarik. One-on-one coverage against Preston Rodenkopf for Lincoln Lutheran. Not a bad look for Lutt, all things considered, but it falls to the turf.
Tasarik actually got a step on his guy, but he probably had to throw this ball just a second or a second and a half before he really wanted to. Didn't allow for that separation to really occur, and he wasn't able to really set his feet there in the pocket.
You got a good look on our replay. Brought to you by Beatrice Community Hospital. Incredible care, incredibly close. Lutz got stuck as he tried to get rid of that ball. Just barely avoided a safety, so well done by the veteran. He will now block for this punt by Walker. Fluttering kick out to the right side. Bounces at the 30-yard line. Again, Walker's been this team's top punter this year, averaging about 26.5 yards per punt. See some halftime highlights at the halftime break, brought to you by Sartor Heyman. Stay tuned for those. Brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. So far, a lot of highlights for this Lincoln Lutheran offense, Andy. They've scored now on 4 straight possessions, including 3 straight runs by Prokop.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I was a bet man, I'd probably say Prokop's going to make an appearance in that highlight package.
I'd see a little bit of number 4 in the blue, I believe. I think it's fair to guess.
No, it's just amazing. You keep pulling that stat out that they have 2 rushing touchdowns on the season heading into this game, and here we already have 4 tonight. So finding something in this rushing attack is this Warrior offense.
It's easy to spell out the storyline so far here. 4 straight touchdowns for Lincoln Lutheran, and Conestoga has yet to pick up a first down. So Lincoln Lutheran takes over from inside the 30. Good field position again. Strong toss out to the right. Ernst.
Wow.
Across the 30, great block. Ernst to the 15, pushed out there. Lead block on the far side by Kaiser Hanneman, one of the best names you'll hear in Class C football this year. Sprung the trap on that far side, 59 in the blue.
Look at how Ernst reads his blocks here, sets him up. Really nice job working in and out of would-be tacklers. Plays a lot of receiver, but gives them that option, this offense, that option. Hey, give me the ball through the running game. I can also pick up some first downs and big yardage that way as well.
16 yards on the ground from the red zone. Glines fires too tall and nearly picked on that backside. He was going for number 83. That's Braden Egge. You saw him make a catch earlier. He's got a touchdown this year, but too tall for him that time. Kind of hard to believe. He's a tall target.
Big kid, tall target, as you mentioned, just over his outreached hands there. Egge's a big playmaker on the defensive side as well.
Longest run of the night for Lincoln Lutheran by my count. That last run by Ernst got him 16. Believe it or not, longer than any run Prokop has had. Give it to Prokop. Trying to match it or more. From 13 yards out, can't quite match it, but he is looking for his 4th touchdown to match his jersey number. And he'll pick up about 8.
How about that? The move that he put on right at the end of that run. He had 2 tacklers barreling down on him. He kind of sidesteps him and falls forward. He's been doing that this entire night. The pile has been falling forward for this Warrior rushing attack.
Average is about 10 yards per game. He's up to 15, now make it 16. Cuts up, scores again. 4 touchdowns for number 4. Lincoln Lutheran, lethal.
Yeah, and I'm going to go back to those big fellas up front. They are really paving the way here for Prokop, and he'll be the first guy to say, but just look at that elite blocking, hat on hat, helmet on a helmet, and then Prokop getting his pad level down, bursting across the line.
Isaac Schleicher is a guard, but pushed out to the right side to pave the way for Prokop, running right tackle. 4 straight touchdown runs for him, 5 straight by Lincoln Lutheran. They have been excellent so far here tonight. PAT up and good. 5 minutes left until halftime. 5 straight scoring drives for the Warriors. You're watching high school football on News Channel Nebraska.
7 left in the first half. Warriors 35.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of the pain, not just the symptoms. By Schaefer's, we are more than just TVs and appliances. And by Claybaugh Pharmacy, your locally owned hometown pharmacy.
So this yellow jacket, it basically symbolizes that it's showtime.
The Yellow Jackets are a throwback to Monday Night Football.
The 1970s, Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell.
That was the big broadcast in the country. Now we're the big broadcast in Nebraska.
When News Channel Nebraska is covering a game, we want you to know that we take it seriously. We want to dress sharp. We have pride in what we do.
And we're going to wear those yellow jackets to show people, you know, we're a little old school, but we're also the important broadcast of the night.
Four straight touchdown runs by the guy wearing number 4 for Lincoln Lutheran in search of their 2nd win of the season, and on the right track to be sure. 5 minutes left until halftime. 5 straight scoring drives by the home team. Angled kickoff. And that's one of the first mistakes by the Warriors here today. Kickoff out of bounds. Both teams have been guilty of a few penalties, and that's just a missed kick by the kickoff man.
Yeah, and once again, it's another penalty on special teams. So like you said, both sidelines, both coaching staffs going to have some things to clean up during the break here. But hey, here's an opportunity for Conestoga before we head into that halftime break. Going to get some good field position through that special teams penalty committed by Lincoln Lutheran.
We'll move them all the way up to the 35-yard line. If you're just joining us, starting quarterback and cornerback, Dylan Canfar was injured earlier in this quarter, so the incumbent starting quarterback, Logan Lutz, the senior, is in for his second drive. This season, 20 of 45 passing, 44%, so better than Canfar in that regard, but 210 passing yards, so less than Canfar in that regard. 1 touchdown pass, 5 interceptions for Lutt, and 1 rushing touchdown. Looks to pass here, under pressure, tries to shimmy out of it, holds onto the ball and gets stuck as he gets to the 35-yard line. Good hit at the end of the run by Lincoln Lutheran's Trenton Cum. Good evasive action, though, by Lutz to get something out of that.
You're exactly right. It talks about the power that he can tote the rock with. Logan Lutt was dead to rights, going back and forth with Colt Fiddler, a secure tackler, big guy for Lincoln Lutheran, was able to break that tackle and get back to the original line of scrimmage. And, you know, by Logan Lutt moving from quarterback to running back, that really allowed this offense another option, but through the injury, it puts him back at quarterback. You can see he's under a lot of distress.
Remember, we know Monte Henry in this offense tonight either for Conestoga, so they're having to change it up even further on the fly. Lutt to pass, zips it in to the turf, however. Off target as he was going for Cole Murwald. 7 catches for 38 yards for him this season.
And I'm going to give Lutt the benefit of the doubt here. I think he tried to save Murwald from getting blown up, throwing it behind him a little bit, because you had really good coverage over the top there, number 22, Trenton Cum, but there was also an inside linebacker waiting to lay a lick. So that might have been premeditated. Logan Lutt trying to bring his receiver back away out of harm's way.
Better to have an incompletion than perhaps another injury. So 3rd down and 10. Conestoga with their best starting field position in a while after that kick out of bounds. Lutt will roll out to the right. Stiff arms, breaks out of a tackle. Lutt still going to the 40, and then forced out to his own sideline at about the 41. Strong run for Lutt, give him 6, and now that sets up a 4th down and maybe more manageable for Conestoga.
You know, that's really where Lutt's at his best, you know, getting the ball out in space, and that's why he was so effective as a running back, because the quarterback could, you know, snap the ball and pitch it to him, get it to him out quick there, let him find that edge. That time, just a one-man show, but it's still going to be a little short. Going to bring up a 4th down, 4th and 3 or 4, 4th and 5. Obvious punting situation.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what do you have to lose at this stage? But it looks like Conestoga will play the long game a little bit, and we'll send Walker out to punt again. Good snap, all kinds of time. Bullet kick from Walker, his best of the night. And it dies inside the 20, still going to the 15 and down to the 14.
Hey.
Very nicely done by Ty Walker. A net of about 46 yards on that punt.
It's going to help the old average out, isn't it?
No doubt. You know, about twice his normal average as well. Unfortunately for Conestoga, just looking down on my drive chart here, Andy, 6 possessions, 6 3-and-outs.
Yeah, and it's been on 1st and 2nd down, committing those penalties where they're really been fighting an uphill battle, getting behind the sticks on those early downs.
Lincoln Lutheran will take over from their own 14-yard line. Ironically, their worst starting field position of the game. They started the game about from this area of the field on the other side. There's a whistle beforehand. Kirk Lott, our official, giving us some adjustments down there. They started the game from about their own 16, and then they punted. They went 3-and-out to start the game. Penalties hamstrung Lincoln Lutheran on their first possession. But since then, they have been in lockstep.
Yeah, and they've really been able to get this rushing attack. I mean, just clicking on all cylinders.
From under center, first time we're really seeing this look from Glines. Strong toss out to the right. Prokop with a blocker, lost his edge, but gets right back up.
Whoa!
Still going, breaks a tackle, and drags a couple of Cougars out to the 20-yard line. Strong run of 11 for Prokop on 1st down. He looked dead to rights.
He did. Noah Egan did a really nice job playing with leverage, keeping that far shoulder free. I can't believe he kept his feet. You saw it right there. Great camera angle. Knee did not touch the ground. And once again, see how he finishes the run there, Tim?
It's an impressive run. This guy has been good tonight. It's Louis Caniglia on the hit from the backside after that gain of 11. Right back to him. Fullback lead block. Prokop cuts back in. Gets a push from his own lineman as he dives out towards the 35. A gain of 14.
I mean, I got to mention him again. Colt Fiddler paving the way. The right side of that line. I mean, I think he took 2 guys out. Got a pancake in the process.
Back-to-back runs of double-digit yards for Prokop. Back in the I formation set. Lincoln Lutheran trying something new here. Prokop running left tackle. Behind that fullback, that is 59, Kaiser Hanneman. We've seen him block as a lineman, seen him come in and swing out, and now he's the fullback in a 9 formation, and it's working extremely well.
Lincoln Lutheran's kind of in, run the ball mode right now. They kind of got the game in hand.
It's going to torpedo Glein's passing yards average. And one of the top passers in terms of yardage and average this year, but barely had to throw the ball. Here's the give. Hanneman, the fullback. Flags fly back towards the backfield, and Hanneman rumbles across midfield down to the Conestoga 44.
I think we're going to bring this one back 5, though. I don't know if everyone was set correctly.
I think they were about as excited as I was for Kaiser Hanneman to get that carry.
Hey, I'm on board. I love seeing the big fellas get their time to shine.
Awesome. Not every single stat, I believe, was 100% correct on Max Preps, as we know that's want to be the case sometimes, but I think safe to assume that would have been the first carry of the year for Kaiser Hanneman, but unfortunately it comes back.
Kind of reminds you of a little Chicago Bear, right?
Yeah.
Refrigerator Perry.
Yeah.
Use them in short yardage situations, and in moments like this, spots like this, you can get some work and get some experience in case you do ever need to bring the hammer in at a short goal line situation.
We've got 3 games left after this for both teams. Plenty of time to try something new. Here's Holly, tripped up before he can cross the 40-yard line. Shoestring tackle by Ty Walker, who's been a busy man. That keeps Holly to a gain of about 3.
So you saw a more traditional type of run and a play call there. But, man, I really like having that offensive lineman in the backfield as a fullback, giving you one more big athletic blocker to kind of pave the way for these running backs.
Walker was able to shed past Hanneman and make that tackle. Same formation. Holly, nothing doing. Good stop by Conestoga. It's Walker again in there for the Cougars. Mason Page in the mix as well. 4th down for Lincoln Lutheran. They're first in a while, but it's 4th down at about 1.
Yeah, Ty Walker, another one of these seniors. He's not the biggest guy out there, only 5'10", but he is 175. Excellent job working down the line of scrimmage, kind of getting behind some of those lead blockers. Brings up a 4th and short.
And on 4th and short, they will keep the same formation out there. It's a benefit of this. They'll go back to Hanneman, and I don't think he got there.
I don't think he got it. I think the Cougars defense held.
They are pumped up. They're pumped up on that far sideline. Hanneman a little slow to get up. It is a stop for Conestoga. At least that's how it looks. Yeah, no measurement. It's a 4th down stop for the Cougars. They turn away Lincoln Lutheran for just the 2nd time tonight.
Credit the Cougars to Sarek. Another one of these upperclassmen, a junior. Nice job getting in there, disrupting that play. That's a big stop for the Cougars, and you saw the celebration there. Good to see them have a little success before we go into this halftime break.
So 1:02 left until halftime. You've got 2 timeouts if you're Conestoga. Quarterback situation is murky, has been for the last couple of weeks, but especially now with that injury to Dylan Canfor. He's still on the sideline, and it will be Lutz who breaks the huddle. They'll spread it out, 2 wides to either side on 1st down. Good field position here for the Cougars. Remember, Canfar is their kicker as well. Lutt under pressure. Hit as he throws, floats it up, and nearly was able to link up with Tesarek after all that. It's maul in coverage, and unfortunately for Conestoga, Lutt got mauled by a pair of Warriors.
And Tesarek was running free. He was finding some space in this zone defense, just got rushed once again due to that pass rush.
Schleicher on the quarterback hurry for Lincoln Lutheran. I don't believe that Conestoga has completed a pass in this game, regardless of which quarterback is in there. And as we told you, they've yet to pick up a 1st down. This is now their best starting field position of the game, save for their first drive of the game, which started right around midfield.
Here we go, 5 wide.
Different look here for the Cougars. 1 minute left in the half. Lutt's going to take it and run. Room to run for Lutt, tripped up at the 40-yard line. And down to the 38. Solid gain on 2nd down, a gain of about 5.
See, this is extremely valuable to the Cougars, moving forward, getting to work their 2-minute offense, 5 wide. We talked about how they're predominantly a rushing option style type of an offense, but in this spot here, you're seeing a little bit more exotic look, and you're getting more athletes out on the field. Now we're going 3 wide to the top of your screen.
3rd down and short, less than 30 to go. Lutt will try to run it again. Low snap, though, that kind of doomed it from the start, Andy, and Lincoln Lutheran ready for that one. Yeah. That'll be a loss of about 1 for Lutz.
Well, that's kind of on the scouting report, too. If Logan Lutz at quarterback, be fully aware they might want to tuck it and run.
Hanneman, who was the fullback on that last series for Lincoln Lutheran, makes the stop. Clock running inside of 5 seconds left in the half. And a timeout will come in for Conestoga as they try one last-ditch effort, perhaps, at the end zone. Likely the final play of the first half when we come back here on News Channel Nebraska.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
Conestoga looking to snap a 6-game losing streak dating back to last season. In fact, they haven't won a game away from Murray, Nebraska, their home, in almost exactly 2 years. October 7th, 2022 at Brownell Talbot. That was, of course, a Class D game 2 years ago. 0-5 to start this year in their return to Class C. Final play of the first half. Once again, Logan Lutz, who's back in at quarterback, and an empty set. It's 4th down and 4, but only 5 seconds showing on the clock. Lincoln Lutheran shows blitz. Lutt floats it up towards the end zone. Too tall for Evan Moracle. It was about 5 yards short of the goal line. 2 Warriors were there in coverage. Lutt was going for it, Andy. He aired it out, trying to get Conestoga on the board, but just offline to end the first half.
Hey, I like the shot. Take the shot, right? Call the timeout, draw something up, able to get the ball down the field, just unable to connect.
It's been kind of the story of the first half for Conestoga, just unable to connect. And meanwhile, for Lincoln Lutheran, a lethal first half. They score on 5 straight drives, all rushing scores for this pass-heavy team. And the Warriors with a 35-0 edge at the halftime break. We'll come back and look at some first half highlights and stats when we come back. This is News Channel Nebraska.
At Nebraska Orthopedic Center, they provide comprehensive orthopedic health care. Their physicians are highly skilled in all areas of orthopedic and sports medicine, including spine surgery, foot and ankle, hand and upper extremities, fracture care, and total joint replacement. Their expertise includes the medical management of injuries through physical and rehabilitative methods or surgical intervention. To schedule an appointment or to learn more about Nebraska Orthopedic Center and their family of 25 physicians, go online to nebraskaortho.com. That's nebraskaortho.com. Nebraska Orthopedic Center is your healing destination.
Let your next adventure take flight in Sarpy County, Nebraska for some high-flying fun. Legendary family adventures. Out-of-this-world shopping. Star-studded evenings. And award-winning experiences. Our flights are never canceled. Stay, play, and plan your getaway at GoSarpy.com.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Western Oil. Make your first and last stop to and from the game at your nearest Speedy Mart or Good to Go convenience stores today. Use Safe Pharmacy, dedicated to the well-being of all our customers. And by Zollner Ford Lincoln, proud to be your local Ford and Lincoln dealer.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
Let's get moving, Nebraska. Show us how you stay healthy and you could really make a difference. Capture these moments, whether it's a walk in the park, playing with your kids or pets, biking or swimming, or even cooking a healthy meal, and share them with us. Each week, one lucky winner will choose a school to receive a $500 donation from Medica. Join the fun and make a difference. Submit today at newschannelnebraska.com and your school could win $500. Stretch across Nebraska, presented by Medica with News Channel Nebraska.
Thursday night football in the capital city. It's been a happy homecoming so far here for Lincoln Lutheran, leading Conestoga 35-0 at the halftime break. Welcome back to Lincoln alongside Andy Klassen and our team here on News Channel Nebraska. I'm Tim Hackett. This is the halftime brought to you by Visit Kearney. Find it all in Kearney. Plenty of highlights on the offensive side for Lincoln Lutheran in that first half. Really, in all phases, Andy. Total team performance for the Warriors in the first third.
Yeah, defense has been on point. Hasn't allowed any type of offensive rhythm to develop for the Conestoga Cougars. And really the story of the first half has been this rushing attack. Lincoln Lutheran is known as a pass-first offense, and they're really good at delivering the ball through the air. That has not been the case here tonight. They've been leaning heavy on that rushing attack, and I think the first, second drive they had some early success, so why not? They just leaned right into it, and that give a lot of credit to head coach Weeding and his staff when they realized early on and made that adjustment to get away from their passing attack, go to their rushing attack, and here they sit up 35-0.
You made a good point because we saw that first drive from Lincoln Lutheran. They tried to pass it a couple of times. There were quick hits from Glines. We didn't see him launch a low downfield or anything, but they tried to pass it a couple of times. They failed, so they went 3 and out. They got the ball back, and ever since then, it has been a heavy dose of Prokop, Holly, even some Hanneman on the ground. They have leaned heavily on the run game ever since that first possession, and it's worked.
It's worked really well. Conestoga has moved, they've been playing with a 5-man front for a lot of that first half, and you saw in that first drive, as you mentioned, they got their hands on a couple of passes. They batted a few down. They got pressure on the quarterback, and when you go with that 5-man front, if that running back can pierce that 5-man front, so much pressure on those two linebackers. And we've seen a lot of offensive linemen get to that second level for Lincoln Lutheran. So it's really been kind of a snowballing effect where one good thing leads to another good thing for the Warriors of Lincoln Lutheran.
Let's check out some of those first half highlights brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Stunning engagement collections, exceptional diamonds, and dazzling gemstones can be found at their Lincoln and Grand Island locations. You made the bets earlier in our first half, Andy. I think that we'll see a lot of number 4 in the blue, but starting off for Conestoga is Grant Kasarik on the catch from the quarterback Dylan Canfair, who is then hurt as a cornerback, set up this second possession for Lincoln Lutheran, their first touchdown of 5 in a row.
Yeah, and Glines isn't a stranger to the end zone, but usually he gets in the end zone through the air.
Right.
That time, quarterback keeper.
And then here's number 4. We mentioned we would see him a lot. He's been the crown jewel of this offense in the first half. He wears number 4 and give him 4 rushing touchdowns in the first half.
Yeah, and you're really seeing his versatility. He's able to run between the tackles, did a lot of that early on. There you saw him bounce one out, just beat everybody to the pylon, get to the end zone.
Pulling guard, love that look from the Lincoln Lutheran offense. That's Colt Fiddler on that. Started as the left tackle, pulls out to the right to pave the way. And here's a run attempt from Conestoga, and unfortunately kind of sums up the way that this first half has gone. Good read from Lutt, option toss, but Lincoln Lutheran all over it for a loss.
Assignment sound, everybody where they need to be. Great penetration up front. And there he is, Prokop for his 4th touchdown.
Make it 4 for number 4. And then Conestoga does make one stop at the end of the half. Final possession for Lincoln Lutheran. They've mixed in this I formation, this fullback look. First time we had seen that in the game. And Conestoga makes the stop there against Kaiser Hanneman.
You know, they burned him once with that quick snap, kind of a West Coast offense look there, handing it to the fullback up front. Gashed him a little bit, but credit the Cougars for making the adjustment there late in the first half, bottling him up, getting the turnover on downs.
Things to build for the final 3 games of the season after tonight. We'll come back with more on the halftime show as the band plays here at Pius X. Lincoln Lutheran up big on Conestoga at the half here on News Channel Nebraska.
This broadcast is brought to you by Stock Seed Farms in Murdoch and by Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. The halftime show is proudly presented by Visit Kearney. Find it all in Kearney.
Stop into Zollner Ford Beatrice and check out these great fall offers. A 2024 Ford F-250 starting at only $47,999. Or choose 1.9% financing with approved credit. Check out ZollnerFordBeatrice.com for our $399 a month lease specials on many models in stock. Check out the 2024 full-size hardtop Broncos starting as low as $39,999. We are Zollner Ford Beatrice, Nebraska's volume dealer with the hometown service you expect.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
For over 40 years, Claybaugh Pharmacy has been your trusted, family-owned, full-service pharmacy. We provide traditional medical options, medical equipment, immunizations, and over-the-counter products. We take pride in going above and beyond to improve the health of our community. And to ensure you have a seamless experience, manage your profile and refills with a touch of the finger from home. Claybaugh Pharmacy in downtown Beatrice, your hometown family-owned pharmacy.
Welcome back to Lincoln, Nebraska, the capital city, the site of this Thursday night football showdown. C2 District 1 action between Lincoln Lutheran and Conestoga. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by the Kearney Sportsplex, which is owned by the city of Kearney and plans to open in the spring of 2025. It will feature 4 pickleball courts of 9,000 square feet with spectator seating, 300-meter track, 3-lane running and walking track, pickleball. My question for you, Andy, I'm new to the state of Nebraska, as I mentioned to you. It's big where I came from. Is it big in this neck of the woods, too?
What do you think? Pickleball is big everywhere. Actually, about 2 or 3 years ago, got an Uber ride in downtown Omaha, and I'm like, I noticed your plate is from Norfolk, Nebraska. What are you doing here driving Uber? He's like, oh, I'm getting a new pickleball paddle, and my place is here. That was 3 years ago. So, pickleball is a big thing. No surprise that the Sportsplex has that included because they have everything. Just a phenomenal facility that's going up in the South Central Nebraska.
They plan to host local and regional events. They've already booked many, including wrestling, volleyball, and pickleball tournaments. So it kind of stands to reason if they're going to kind of capitalize on not a fad, but a real it's a real
popular sport. It's growing, man. It's taken over.
It's got some momentum.
It does. And what I think is so cool about the Sportsplex is you're going to have all these teams from the East Coast, West Coast, Texas, Florida, all meeting up in the middle of the nation in Kearney, Nebraska to play all these different type of tournaments, whether it's wrestling, basketball, track type of stuff. There's a full track in there. It's going to be so cool, and it's going to be really, really cool for us Nebraskans to get to watch all this nationwide talent come in and compete.
Last thing about pickleball, I live about 90 minutes from here in southeast Nebraska, and I was talking with a member of our crew, I don't want to embarrass him by talking about it, but you know who it is, about pickleball in the state of Nebraska, in this area, the Kearney region. I was talking with him about it earlier that day. There's one major store in the town that I live in. I was there later that evening, and they have one display. Again, I was just on the phone with that guy like 20 minutes ago, 20 minutes prior to that, and there's one display with pickleball accessories, rackets, ball, whatever. I'm like, are you kidding me?
It's everywhere, Tim. Pickleball is everywhere.
I guess so. I guess I gotta get used to it. That's one of the things that you could expect in the Kearney Sportsplex in early 2025. And in late 2024, a lot more good teams on tap for both of these squads, because this District 1 here in 2024, again, totally different than it looked in 2023. There's only 2 teams that are holdovers. Lincoln Lutheran is one. Malcolm is the other. And they're one of the best teams in this region, in the state of Nebraska, in this classification, I should say. But there are a lot of other top teams in this region as well.
Yeah, and here's a look at that top 10, and we're going to see tonight it's just these 2 teams in C2. Tomorrow, though, Friday night, we're going to see a lot of really good matchups across C2. A lot of ranked schools going to be, going heading up against each other here. I had it pulled up. Norfolk Catholic, ranked number 1 in our polls and other polls. They're taking on a pesky West Point Beamer team. That's going to be a good ball game. Donovan Trumbull, 4-1. They're going to be taking on Superior. So there's going to be some really good matchups across C2.
I'm glad you brought up Donovan Trumbull because Lincoln Lutheran, again, they're 1-4 this year. It's a little bit of a misnomer. Their one win this year was over Donovan Trumbull, which is not a team that you see on this list, but they are 4-1.
Yeah.
Every team that Lincoln Lutheran has played so far this year is really good. If you were with us right at the top of the show, Sean Weeding said this is our first opponent, talking about Conestoga, our first opponent that we're playing this year that doesn't come into the game with a loss. So, Donovan Trumbull is 4-1. Their only loss this year is to Lincoln Lutheran. That's their only win. So imagine spinning it that way, but you talk about a quality of win for Lincoln Lutheran, 5 quality opponents for them in 5 weeks.
And there's going to be some shakeups here in the Week 7 rankings because you have Cedar Catholic taking on Battle Creek. That's going to be a fantastic matchup. And you already mentioned them, the Clippers of Malcolm. They're taking on Bishop Newman. So, we could see some big-time movement here because we're in the heart of the season, right? Midway point, seeing a lot of these ranked top 10 teams square off with one. There's too many people that are 5-0, right? That can't last. That can't be throughout the season for everybody.
Well, it's interesting because this is a Thursday night matchup. It's the only one on the schedule, at least in name, for both of these teams. But that means they will have the opportunity, if they choose, to follow live that Bishop Newman game because these two teams that we see here tonight do play Bishop Newman, which you see as number 3 in the NCN rankings later on this year. In fact, that's where Conestoga plays next back at home. They've got Bishop Newman and then Raymond Central right after that. So you've got 4-1 and then 5-0 the next 2 weeks for Conestoga. That's a tough back-to-back.
It's a really tough back-to-back, but it's one of the things I kind of appreciate about Belichick, on the professional level when the narrative is supposed to be, these Thursday night games, short week, injuries, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, no, we get an extra day of rest for the following week, so I don't really get into that. I just loved his bluntness and honesty, and that's how Conestoga and Lincoln Lutheran has to look at this is, hey, we're going to get an extra day of rest heading into next week, week 6, week 7, and those are the type of weeks where you could use an extra day of rest. And here, if you're the Warriors, you're feeling pretty good about yourself, up 35-0. So they'll probably see we're going to see a running clock, and we're probably going to see some extra reserves enter the game.
Up next, Lincoln Lutheran's got Palmyra, which just like Conestoga is 0-5 going into this week. You did not see them on that ranking a minute ago, but after that, 2 teams that you did see in that top 10 to close the year for Lincoln Lutheran at Bishop Newman and against Malcolm. Almost done here at halftime. When we come back, it's the second half between Lincoln Lutheran and Conestoga in this district matchup here in Class C2 high school football in the state of Nebraska on News Channel Nebraska.
Lay the foundation for increased harvesting capacity and a successful harvest by ordering a new John Deere combine during Landmark Implement's early order program. Upgrade to the latest model and maximize yield potential with advanced harvest technology. Customize your combine and secure the best discounts and financing options of the year. Contact your local Landmark Implement today to order your new John Deere combine and experience the Landmark difference.
Women have a 1 in 8 chance for developing breast cancer. Early detection makes a difference. Beatrice Community Hospital's Imaging Center can help with the latest technology, from screening with 3D mammography, breast MRI, breast ultrasound, and breast biopsy. All services conveniently located in the BCH's Imaging Center. Schedule your screening today. Incredible care, incredibly close.
Ashley Sleep offers mattresses for every level of comfort with affordable options that meet every style of sleeper. And right now, you can bring home a new Ashley Sleep Queen mattress for as low as $249.99. And for a limited time, save big on an adjustable base with the purchase of select Ashley Sleep mattresses. Give yourself the restful, rejuvenating sleep you need to be your best self this spring. Visit your local Ashley store in Kearney, Grand Island, and North Platte for better sleep and savings.
So this yellow jacket, it basically symbolizes that it's showtime.
The Yellow Jackets are a throwback to Monday Night Football.
The 1970s, Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell.
That was the big broadcast in the country. Now we're the big broadcast in Nebraska.
When News Channel Nebraska is covering a game, we want you to know that we take it seriously, we want to dress sharp, we have pride in what we do.
And we're going to wear those yellow jackets to show people, you know, we're a little old school, but we're also the important broadcast of the night.
At the racetrack or the rat race round town, fuel matters. Here, customers can expect the highest quality fuel that they deserve.
Welcome back to Lincoln, Nebraska, the campus of Lincoln Pius X. Just about 5 minutes from Lincoln Lutheran here in the capital city. Happy to have you with us for some Thursday night football action here on News Channel Nebraska alongside Andy Klassen here in the booth. I'm Tim Hackett. Many thanks to our whole crew here on News Channel Nebraska, which is braving a very lovely Thursday night here in Lincoln for this contest, which Lincoln Lutheran has in full control. 35-0 lead over Conestoga. A matchup on paper of a 1-4 team versus an 0-5 team, but we knew coming in, Andy, that kind of dipped below the surface a little bit. Lincoln Lutheran is not your everyday 1-4 team.
Right. I mean, pretty front-loaded schedule, right? A lot of ranked teams up there, and they've been playing a really good brand of football. I love their offense and how they move the ball through the air predominantly, but tonight it's been all about the rushing attack. And you mentioned the lovely weather. We're at 72 degrees with a light breeze. It's just perfect. At kickoff, we're in October, Nebraska, and it was 80 degrees at kickoff. It's just unbelievable.
I get in my car, getting up here, at about 4 o'clock today. I'm like, that's kind of hot. What's going on? Isn't it the first week of October? But my guess is we might be pining for days like this in about a month.
Yeah, I think you're right. And now that I look at the American flag in the south end zone there, that is a north wind blowing in that cold weather, I bet.
We'll take what we can get, I guess. And Lincoln Lutheran has been taking a lot so far tonight. They score on 5 straight possessions, all rushing scores. A little bit of a delay as we get ready for the second half here. It's homecoming night here for Lincoln Lutheran. And it's an impressive kind of turn of script for the Warriors. They rushed for 2 total touchdowns over their front 5 games. And here in Game 6, they've rushed for 5.
Yeah, and we mentioned that first drive where they tried to get into that passing game, and credit Conestoga. Man, they really made it difficult getting to the quarterback. We saw a slant get batted away early, almost picked, right? Yeah. And so, I mean, I'll go back to it. Sean Weeding didn't try to force feed his offense. He switched the offense up early and had a lot of success in doing so, operating through that rushing attack.
In our high school coverage so far this year elsewhere, Andy, I talked to a coach a couple of weeks ago. That team was also winless at the time, and he told me in our lead up to that game, as a coach, you can go back in. I know you can speak to this as a former player. You kind of, maybe you don't pick up on it immediately in the moment because there's so many other things going on. But once you go back in and watch some game film, you can go in and pick up moments, maybe more than one, but certainly at least one typically in every game where you can look as a coaching staff and say, that was our chance. We didn't take it for whatever reason. They stopped us or we failed, whatever the difference is. And after that window closes, and for me, it felt like that first defensive drive for Conestoga was that moment. They made the stop. They forced a 3 and out, but nearly had a takeaway, and then couldn't do anything with their offensive possession. And from there, the game started to slip away.
Yeah, they had that really good field position that first possession, and just went backwards. And it was like, I think it was back-to-back offensive penalties to start the game off, and that's been the name of the game for the Cougars. They just haven't been able to help themselves or get out of their own way.
Storyline's been pretty easy to write. Lincoln Lutheran scored touchdowns on 5 of their 7 possessions in the first half. For Conestoga, 7 possessions, 6 3 and outs, and then the final possession was the end of the half. High shot from Logan Lutz fell a little bit short, so 6 3 and outs, and the end of the half, 7 possessions for Conestoga, 0 points. We're underway now here in the second half. Keep you posted as the clock runs. Clock is not showing up properly on the scoreboard here to our right either, so we'll keep you posted as we go along. Remember, some injuries here for Conestoga. They are without one of their top players, Monte Henry, and starting quarterback Dylan Canfar was injured in the first half. So Logan Lutt has seen a lot of the action here in this second quarter. Toss out to the left side, Ty Walker on the give, and that's honestly, Andy, I think his first positive run of the night, but it is a strong run of about 4.
Yeah, really nice job quickly getting that ball out to the ball carrier, which was Walker, because you had that pressure from the front 4 once again. And not a bad job by the 3 linebackers flowing with the play, limiting the yardage, because it looked like Walker might be able to get upfield.
They've spread the ball around on offense, has Conestoga. Canfar's got a handful of carries. Lutt has a handful of carries. That was 4 carries by my count for Walker. Tassaric got a carry, which is not something that we've seen much for them this year, so it's been kind of an all-hands approach with no Monte Henry, who has touched the ball a lot, both passing game and running game.
You know, just make matters worse, right? Compiling problems for the Cougars.
Down with one of your top players makes matters difficult for sure. Fake the give. Lutt will try to keep it, and he's snowed under. Good pressure again by Lincoln Lutheran, which is something that we have said a lot so far tonight.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Conestoga, it looks like Canfar's, he's standing on the end of the sideline there. He got shook up in that first half. It's kind of some friendly fire, remember? He ran into his own guy on a defensive play. Sometimes those are the worst shots because you're not expecting them. You're not ready to take that impact.
Physically looking the other way, right? Again, Canfar is a starter as a cornerback and a quarterback. Not available, at least for now, for Conestoga. So they lost the yardage they picked up on first down. 3rd down and about 12 for Conestoga. Again, they'll empty it out. We saw this look from them a couple of times.
No.
Snap skips away from Lutz, and he's able to dive on it back near the 5-yard line. That was close to defensive scoring territory for Lincoln Lutheran, but Lutz, very heads-up play, gets on that loose ball.
Yeah, another low snap just right at the shoestrings, but you said it. Lett did a really good job scrambling back there and securing that ball.
Josiah Enso is there to finish him off. Team leader with 4.5 tackles for loss before tonight. He's had a couple in this game as well. So Lutt and the Cougars going backwards on their first possession. Here's Walker on the punt. Pressure comes in. High spiraling punt, dies at the 25-yard line. Takes a bit of a favorable bounce for the Cougars out to the 30-yard line. And not to belabor the point, Andy, but they are still without a first down in this game.
Yeah, and that punt wasn't bad. Had good hang time, but just barely got back to the original where their first down marker was at.
No kidding. So the ball crossed the first down line, but unfortunately no Cougar brought it there. So it is a 3-and-out once again for Conestoga. Clock stops. I don't know that it should. 35-point edge in the second half. I do believe that is the precipice for a running clock, but we'll see as we go along. So Lincoln Lutheran takes the field for the first time here in the second half. Yeah, and this record is misleading. At face value, I saw 1-4 team figure out what the story was for them. Again, it is there's a lot of underlying story for Lincoln Lutheran this year. And good tackle was Prokop, got the first carry of the second half. We mentioned those rankings in the second half. What's coming up for Lincoln Lutheran? But how about what's already passed? Their opponents so far this year have an 18-2 combined record against teams not called Lincoln Lutheran. So they're 1-4, and their one win was against Donovan Trumbull. That's their only loss. So they're 4-0 outside of that game. 18-2 combined outside of the games played against Lincoln Lutheran.
And I think that's why you felt that confidence. Anyway, I did, talking to head coach Sean Wheating before kickoff. Good enough to take some time and speak with us in the end zone here. And he knows that it was pretty heavy front-loaded schedule there heading into this season, and that's exactly kind of how it played off. Righted the ship. They did get a victory, and it looks like they're going to cruise to another victory here tonight.
Their 4 losses have all come against teams that are currently in the top 10 in the NCAA rankings, in either Class 2 or Class 1. Pretty crazy. Quick hitter, here's Costin Mall. Accelerates towards the pylon. Touchdown, Costin Mall. First passing touchdown of the night for Lincoln Lutheran. Took a little bit longer than we expected to say that, but it's Glines to Mall yet again. That duo strikes for the first time tonight and the 5th time this season.
And that was just beautifully set up. You saw a couple guys get out there and block in front of him. Trenton Cum was the guy that came back and really was able to sprung 1-8 to the end zone. Nice little move. There's also some speed there from Maul. He was able to turn it up and accelerate away from the defense.
This run game has been so good. We have not been able to talk very much about how good this pass game for the Warriors has been on the balance of the season. But again, not many quarterbacks in Class C have been more productive, more prodigious than Braxton Glines this year. And Maul and Ernst, his top duo, are two of the biggest reasons why. Underway here in the second half. Lincoln Lutheran adds one more. They're up big here on News Channel Nebraska.
This broadcast is brought to you by Stock Seed Farms in Murdoch and by Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
Welcome back to the capital city. Tim Hackett and Andy Klassen here with you live on News Channel Nebraska. Happy to have you with us. Very excited to be here and see what this side of the operation is like. And so far we have seen a high-functioning Lincoln Lutheran offense. They have been great so far tonight.
Efficiency, that's the word, right? It's been all Navy. Sharp-looking Navy jerseys, operating at a high level offensively and defensively. Don't want to take away from the guys on the other side of the ball.
Got to look out if you're our cameraman down there. Thomas, we got to know him before the game, doing our pregame stuff down there. We were almost hit by a ball. He was almost hit by that kickoff. They say this is not an easy job. You're in striking distance if you're down there in the end zone.
Yeah, you're in harm's way. You're close to the action.
Always joked that in a former life, I covered a lot of volleyball, Andy, and I always thought that our players would try to target me with their pregame warm-ups.
Hey, you're preaching to the choir because we were in Lincoln Lutheran last week. I was with my buddy Kalen Debin. We were doing a Lincoln Lutheran volleyball game. They're so good.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a good game. Yeah.
We were getting pelted
Are you serious?
by volleyballs down along the sideline.
You wearing the gold jackets?
Yes, we were.
Well, I guess it makes you a target, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I thought it kind of looked like we belonged with the Lincoln Lutheran with that, those gold jackets. They didn't think so.
Grant Cesarik on that target, sails away. Clock is running here as we start off the second half. Third quarter brought to you by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of pain, not just the symptoms. Happy to have you with us. Lincoln Lutheran causing a little bit of pain, unfortunately, to an extent, literally, once or twice here for Conestoga tonight. Logan Lutt back in at quarterback. It was the starting quarterback at the beginning of the year, but as we've told you, a split time really over the balance of the season with Canfar, but we will imagine we'll see a lot of Lutt today. High pass, that's caught. First completion of the night for the Cougars, hauled in by Cole Murwald, one of this team's top pass catchers. 7 catches for 38 yards this season for the Cougars. Again, their first grab and a nice catch.
Murwald does a really nice job catching this ball with his hands, getting his hands up and out away from his body and plucking that ball out of the air. See that, how he caught that in front of his face mask? Great coverage, but good concentration by Murwald.
Here's another key difference between these two offenses that we haven't really talked about yet. Again, we've talked about how elite this passing game has been for Lincoln Lutheran. They have 7 different guys that have caught a touchdown pass from Glines this year. Conestoga has 4 different guys who have caught a pass, period, this year.
And that goes back to kind of that numbers game that we're talking about where, I feel like Conestoga is still kind of transitioning from the 8-man game, working their way back up into C2 here, playing 11-man football.
There's another catch, so back-to-back snags for Murwald on the throw from Lutt. Goes back to catch that one. Nicely done.
Really was, and I think what you're starting to see is when Lutt has some time to operate in that pocket, he can deliver a nice ball down the field.
And he's got fewer passing yards and about the same number of attempts, almost exactly the same number of attempts this year compared to Canfar. He passed the ball 44 times, Lutt 45 times, again, as they pretty much split work pretty much in every game so far this year. First down, Lutt under siege, flings it back away towards his own sideline as he got waylaid by a trio of Warriors. It's Orich again in there on the pressure. Not a name that I expected we would hear all that much tonight, Andy, but we have seen sophomore lineman Rylan Orich, 55 in the Navy. He's been everywhere.
He's been a disruptor for sure. Really, all 4 down linemen for the Warriors have been able to have their moments here. And Lutt was able to, just get outside of that tackle box, and he did have a receiver in the area to avoid any illegal, throw of the football.
Colt Fiddler is 58 in the Navy and Gold. We did expect to see a lot of him, and we've seen a lot of him as well, especially on those pressures. Second down. Lutt to pass again. Has a crosser. It's caught out towards the 50-yard line. Biggest play of the day for Conestoga. They've got first downs on back-to-back series. Noah Egan with his first catch of the year.
Look at Egan adjust his body here, get his hands up once again, high point that ball. A little bobble there, but then also able to avoid the big shot and work back up the field, pick up some additional yardage. Okay, now we're starting to see a little bit of a passing game come to life for the Cougars.
Gain of 22 from Lutt to Egan. Again, his first catch of the year, if the stats that we were given from Coach DJ Quick. Nice of him to give that to us directly. He was not listed anywhere, but again, no Monte Henry in this game for Conestoga, so that elevates a couple of other people, if you will. Enter number 14 in the whites.
Egan did a really nice job on that route. Broke that off. You saw him get away from coverage there. And a nice ball delivered down the field.
Lutt's evasive action. All the way out to his left. Off his back foot, will float it out towards the first down marker and lives to fight another day. We mentioned this in passing, Andy, but Conestoga has scored exactly 7 points in each of their last 4 games. They scored 14 in their first game of the year. So 1 touchdown in each of the last 2 games. Canfar was involved in both of those. 1 rushing touchdown, 1 passing touchdown. So with him off the field, they've lost their top source of offense for the last couple of weeks, so they're going to need to get creative.
Yeah, they are, and I kind of like what they're doing here. They're kind of throwing a change up at Lincoln Lutheran, deciding to go with their passing game here. And Lutt, you're kind of seeing that big arm, that big play capability that he does have. And here we go, 3 wide to the top of your screen.
Bit of a gunslinger is Lutt, and he's thrown 5 interceptions this year, which is part of the reason why he lost that job. But he's had some moments here since he's taken back over. He's looked all right. Out to the top side, Murwald with the hits, but let him. You mentioned this earlier, Andy, on that throw that Lutt made into the turf to kind of protect Murwald. He threw that up, and that allowed Rodenkall to come in and lay a big hit.
Yeah, that ball covered a lot of green, and that allowed that defense to rally up and lay a big hit. And the coverage has been pretty tight. Let's make note of that. The Warriors secondary has done a really nice job behind that initial pass rush.
Hard to find any faults in Lincoln Lutheran on the balance of the day. It's been a real team effort, I think, in all 3 phases.
It really has been. They had some penalties early on, but they were able to overcome those.
Good call. That's definitely something that they're going to want to clean up, especially with some of these good, really, really good teams that they've got in the final 2 weeks of the season. Man in motion. Conestoga jumped, and Lincoln Lutheran was all over that. And just now the call comes in. I think it was Tasarik, tight end to the left.
And this is what, Tim, I'm sorry. This is what's really derailed this offense for the Cougars. I mean, they've been behind the sticks this entire game, now moving into the second half here. And they had an opportunity, a third and manageable, we'll call it. But no, they got another illegal procedure. Now it's 3rd and long. Completely changes the playbook, and this is where we've seen the down 4 linemen get a little creative. We've seen some twists, we've seen some stunts up front to apply that pressure in an obvious passing situation.
As you said earlier, I mean, you're batting from behind in this game when you were trailing early for Conestoga, and you're continuing to put yourself behind the sticks. Makes it even harder than it already was. Good block. Lutz flings it out to the far side and incomplete. Again, hits that first down line. It looks like a target out there. It looks like a quarterback drill. It was a little bit short of that, unfortunately, but it was close. But unfortunately for Conestoga, there's nobody wearing the white top out there.
Yeah, and you're seeing some of the arm strength from Lutt, too, because he wasn't able to really, wind up and deliver that ball downfield. Kind of had to flick it out there. It was still able to get to where it needed to go to avoid any kind of an illegal grounding penalty.
I think that some of the Lincoln Lutheran folks, they're wearing the matching outfits, white polos, navy pants. They're asking for it, I think, over here on this near side, but not going to budge. 90 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. And now a 4th down to salvage this drive for Conestoga, which has been so strong. Easily their best of the game. But they need about 13 to extend it. Pistol set for Lutz. 3 to this near side. Fake the give. Hit as he throws, lofts it up to Sarek, makes the catch somehow, spun down shy of the 40-yard line by Lincoln Lutheran's number 16, Maximilian Knob.
Knob did a really nice job securing that tackle. It looked like Tasarik was going to maybe slip that tackle and get upfield and threaten to make a first down. Not the case. Able to hold on and bring the receiver down to the ground. And we're going to have a turnover on downs.
Yeah, turnover on downs. Tesaric gets about 7, officially his first catch of the game. One of the more typical pass catchers for Conestoga this season. Gets in the mix there on 4th down, but Lutz's pass was short, and that strong drive for Conestoga will come to an end. Turnover on downs. Lincoln Lutheran takes back over. Just had their first passing touchdown of the game earlier in this quarter, just their second possession of the period. A couple of different guys out there on the far side, and a new quarterback in as well for the Warriors on what might be the last play of the third quarter. It's Holly on the give. A.J. Iverson is the quarterback. We've seen him get some action in a couple of games this year for Lincoln Lutheran. Almost all of his action, though, came in one game. I believe that was against Boys Town. It was in week 4, so 2 games ago. The two quarterbacks split time. Glines had 16 pass attempts, but Iverson had 33 of his 34 pass attempts in that game. And that wasn't a game that was a blowout either way. It was fairly competitive, and Glines was limited for one reason or another. So Iverson is not a newcomer to this team by any means, and it will likely be his show the rest of the way. The fourth quarter is next. Lincoln Lutheran on top of Conestoga here on News Channel Nebraska.
More than 80 communities across the state count on Nebraska Public Power District to power their every day. And like a dependable neighbor, we work tirelessly to make our communities a better place to live. From preparing them for economic growth, to partnering in local events, to educating tomorrow's workforce, we are charged with creating community connections that are just as trusted and reliable as the electricity we provide. NPPD, powering our state, empowering our communities.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Does your business need help financing big-ticket items? Currency is here to help. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Midway Auto. For your next vehicle, go to thinkmidway.com.
Fourth quarter in the capital city. Tim Hackett and Andy Klassen and our whole crew here on News Channel Nebraska with you from Lincoln Pius X. Lincoln Lutheran playing close to home. It's homecoming night here for the Warriors, and a happy one so far, leading 42-0 as we start the fourth quarter on the grounds. Oscar Prochnow makes the run. 2 carries for 8 yards for him on the season. And it's Iverson leading the way. Glines' day is done, Andy. It's not quite as gaudy of a day as we expected, as we've seen from him, even in losses for Lincoln Lutheran this year. As we told you, one of the top passers in this classification, but he did not have to do a ton of work. His ground game was more than good enough.
I think he's A-okay with his workload. If it's going to result in a 42-0 lead heading into the fourth quarter, I think any quarterback across the state would go ahead and take that.
There's a timeout on the field. Our officials not been able to communicate exactly why. And there's a trainer that has now been sent over to the far sideline. That's the Conestoga sideline. So a guy wearing a gray polo, came all the way across. And he's now attending to somebody on the Conestoga sideline. Looks like, if I'm right, it's Kyler Dobry that he's attending to over there. He's standing, though. He's on his feet, and he's got his helmet on. So hopefully that's a good sign for him going forward. Underway. Gain of about 6 for Prochnow. And so A.J. Iverson on this third down will give. Prochnow trying to run out right. Conestoga all over that one. Stretching out to the far side, runs right into Logan Lutz, who we knew would see a lot more time on offense and defense tonight. He makes the tackle for loss. It's fourth down.
Yeah, Lutz a gamer. Great outside linebacker that time. You saw him get into the backfield. Going to bring up a fourth and 5?
Yeah, somewhere around there. He's the second leading tackler on this team with 27 is Lutz, behind only Gavin Meyer. We haven't talked about too much for Conestoga this tonight. Number 52, see him there just to the right side of your screen. And good look at him there on the right side next to the guy in the stripes, number 52. Haven't seen too much of him, their leading tackler, even though Conestoga's been on the field a lot, obviously. Fourth down and 5. Iverson's going to lead the pack and go for it. Zips it, out of his hands and nearly picked off on the carom. A couple of guys were there. For number 16, it's Maximilian Knopp, who just made the play on defense a minute ago for Lincoln Lutheran. Not able to make that play on offense. Turnover on downs.
Yeah, good job by the defense getting their hands up. Now, it did go off the hands of the offensive guy. It would have been a very difficult catch, but after the ball was deflected, fortunate if you're a Warrior fan because there's a lot of Cougars in the area.
Got a good look at it on that replay brought to you by Beatrice Community Hospital. Incredible care, incredibly close. Haven't seen any turnovers in this game. It's been a little bit sloppy. You mentioned the penalties. You were right, too. That's been an issue, and that will be a talking point for both of these teams going into action next week on a slightly longer week since this is a Thursday, as you pointed out. But no turnovers, which is very interesting. And there will be a timeout before we can get this possession started. Timeout by Lincoln Lutheran. We'll keep it here with 9:43 left in regulation. Lincoln Lutheran up 42-0 here on News Channel Nebraska, and Conestoga will take its offense back out onto the fields. Stick around after the game. Stay tuned for our coach's post-game interview brought to you by Sarpy County Tourism. And here's a look at Sean Wheating, and we will hear from him once again, Andy. And I am sure that he will be quite happy with his team's performance tonight.
Well, he should be. I mean, aside from one drive, this offense has been pretty much perfection, right? And in a different way to maybe what they're accustomed to, adjusting to that rushing game. Can't wait to kind of pick his brain over that because they found something early, they stuck with it, and it really worked out for them here tonight.
I'm very curious to see now how Lincoln Lutheran attacks their game in a couple of weeks against Bishop Newman's. They've got Palmyra next week. They're also struggling coming into this week at 0-5, so maybe an opportunity for them to try out a couple of more things, maybe like they're seeing tonight. But against Bishop Newman and Malcolm to close the year, they have the opportunity now to showcase maybe another facet of this team, which, I mean, frankly, was just not something we expected to see coming into tonight.
They were a good offense beforehand. That was the talk of the town, and what everybody knew is just how high-flying this passing attack can be for Lincoln Lutheran. Now we saw another side of it, powered by those offensive linemen getting upfield, and then a player in Henry Prokop who might make a run at that player of the game interview.
Yeah, no doubts. I think he's got the inside track at this point. No gain on first down here for Conestoga. Not in any hurry. And they scored one touchdown last week, as we said, against Malcolm. That came very late in the game. So trying to replicate that and crack the scoreboard. They have not been shut out this year, but have only scored one touchdown exactly in their last 4 games. I'm not sure everybody was set prior to that. Man in motion was Evan Moracle. Will be a false start here against Conestoga.
See, that's one of the things, you know, it's tough to overcome and it takes time. But just doing the little things, lining up, everybody on the same count when you're going from an 8-man program to an 11-man program. And those are some things that established programs, you know, you don't even think twice about. But that is exactly some of the growing pains that the Cougars and this Cougar offense is going through right now.
Lutt's able to corral the snap. He'll lock it low deep down the right sideline, but way too far away for Moracle. It's Oscar Prock now in coverage out there for Lincoln Lutheran. Fourth quarter brought to you by Visit Lincoln. See and experience all that Lincoln has to offer. Discover more at lincoln.org. We're here from Lincoln, the capital city in the state of Nebraska, here on News Channel Nebraska. Happy to have you with us. Final 8 minutes of regulation and a 3rd and 15 facing Conestoga. So up next, they will head back home and they will take on the aforementioned Bishop Newman and then Raymond Central right after that. They will finish, though, with Palmyra. So an opportunity, I think, on paper, Andy, for those two teams maybe to finish the year. Don't know what Palmyra's schedule looks like, but they've also got this really good district schedule in front of them as well. So there's a chance that those two teams come into that game winless with an opportunity to win their last game of the season, which would certainly feel nice, I'm sure.
Oh, no doubt. You know, you always kind of notice those games. You can call them winnable games if you'd like, but and it's 2 tough, really tough games for Conestoga.
Until they get to that point,
following this one up. So,
I mean, for Lincoln Lutheran, so again, they're going to win this game, and they'll be favored next time out against Palmyra, which again is winless. And then after that, they've got Bishop Newman and Malcolm, as we've already said. They're both 4-1, both in the top 10 going into this week. So if everything shakes out on paper, Lincoln Lutheran could finish the year 3-7, but 3-6, but you'd be hard pressed to find a better 6-loss team than this. I mean, what a schedule that is.
And there's going to be a shakeup within the top 10. We already mentioned it. A couple 4 teams scoring off against one another. So there's going to be some opportunity for Lincoln Lutheran to make some noise down the stretch here the second half of the season.
4th and 15, flags fly. Lutt with a bullet pass knocked away for Merwald. One-on-one coverage on this near side by Skylar Springer. And he gets some pats on the back. Really good coverage. Pretty good throw by Lutt, but there's about a half dozen flags that litter the fields.
Well, Springer, not the tallest freshman out there, did a really nice job locating that receiver, not too much contact to warrant a flag, and then getting that inside position, batting the ball away with his free hand, that right hand.
I like this. It's my first time here at Lincoln Lutheran, and I'm watching a bunch of folks bring out giant trash bags. They are giving the fans the opportunity, the ability to just give them their trash now to hopefully limit the amount of waste that's left behind when people leave here in about half an hour.
Just an excellent working relationship between Lincoln Pius X, this is their field, right, and then Lincoln Lutheran being able to come over and utilize it as their home field, playing host here to Conestoga. So just a lot of sportsmanship and really the entire leadership team at Lincoln Lutheran. They're always so much fun and easy for us to work with. You don't have to twist my arm too much to get me to do a Lincoln Lutheran game. Whether it's volleyball, football, basketball, hey, I'll be there.
It's been an awesome setup so far, and Lincoln Lutheran certainly enjoying themselves tonight. Iverson on a quick comeback on a screen out to this near side, caught by Preston Rodencall. He's been a top corner. He makes his first catch of the night. Stick around after the game. Watch our top plays brought to you by Currency. And there will be quite a few plays for Lincoln Lutheran, I'm sure, as we saw in the halftime break. They've only scored once here in the second half, but running clock has sped things up a fair bit.
And we're seeing a lot of youngsters, underclassmen, reserves get into the game here. And let's be honest, we saw a couple of drives when Lincoln was getting into the thick of it midway through that first quarter where they're playing at a high pace, right?
Yeah.
It almost looked like a 2-minute offense type of feel, but
no doubt.
That tempo is really working out for them. Now they're kind of slowing things down.
From the 40, quick screen to the far side this time. That's Nolan Watson on the catch for Lincoln Lutheran. And look, we told you, Iverson played not in garbage time against Boys Town. That's a great team, a top 10 team, as we've already told you about multiple times. Lincoln Lutheran lost that game, but Iverson had good numbers in that game again. Not in garbage time, not against reserves. He played serious minutes in that game against a great team with Glines limited for whatever reason. So his numbers in that game are, look, it's my first time seeing him in person, Andy, and just looking at the numbers from that game, that's encouraging with your number 2 quarterback back there. If he can do some of the things, kind of replicate what Glines has done, that sets things up for the future as well, you would hope.
No, he looks very comfortable back there, and you make another great point there, Tim, where he gets some valuable time, basically an entire second half here, short half, with the running clock and all, but still, it's not like he's going to, if he is needed down the stretch for one reason or another, he's going to be ready to go. He's going to have some recent varsity time under his belt. So these are some big snaps, big minutes for some of these players for Lincoln Lutheran.
Gline had 16 pass attempts in that game against Boys Town, so it's not like he was out, but Iverson had 33, so he had the lion's share. And this season, he's 24 of 34, so 71% completion, which is darn good for 181 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Almost all of that action came in that game against Boys Town, like we said. Prochnow again on the carry, up the middle he goes. Short gain on first down and short gain on second down. According to the Conestoga football website, so this is separate from Max Preps, I found this, and credit to them for maintaining this. It was kind of cool. They've got a lot of really good history for a team. Again, let's be totally frank. They have not won a ton of games over the last decade or so, so you have to go back into their history books to find a lot of their good, really good seasons. 2011 was the last time they were in the playoffs for Conestoga, but still they're maintaining this site, which I appreciate, and they do a really good job of it. According to that site, Lincoln Lutheran is 6-1 all-time in this all-time series, but even though these guys were both Class C opponents about a half-decade ago, this is their first meeting since 2007, which is interesting. Conestoga's only win in the all-time series came in 2002. Lincoln Lutheran has won the last 5 in their 3.5 minutes for making it 6 in a row.
Tackled by number 11, Logan Love, number 12.
That's a lot of history there. That is a heck of a website.
I appreciate it. Stoga football. I forget the exact URL, but they're not the only school in the country called Conestoga. Team named after initially kind of an English variation of a Native American tribe out in the Northeast, and there's also a high school in Pennsylvania kind of towards that initial culture where they used to call home.
I really appreciate that because there's so many towns there where it's just like Springfield, right? Springfield, Illinois, Springfield, Nebraska,
No doubt.
Springfield.
There's one in every state, right?
Right, yeah. It's a running joke on The Simpsons.
Oh, high snap on the punt, and they get the punt away somehow. Evasive action for Canal, who we've already seen make a couple of plays here in the second half, and he ends up booting it into the Conestoga sideline. So not the prettiest play tonight for Lincoln Lutheran. Very high snap. You see the snapper kind of had his hand on his knees, his head on his knees afterwards, and Good work by Canup. You got a face full of Logan Lutt as well afterwards.
Yeah, Logan Lutt's really fortunate that they didn't throw the flag on that play because I'm not sure he got part of the ball. If he had a partial deflection, then you can run into the kicker, okay, but I don't know if Lutt got there.
2.5 to go. Maybe they'll just kind of let some of that go if it's not outright.
Right.
Stay tuned. After the game, we'll have our player of the game brought to you by Nebraska Orthopedic Center and USafe Pharmacy, dedicated to the well-being of all of our customers. Andy Clausen will head down there and get some conversations with the winning coach and the player of the game. 2 minutes left in regulation. Lutz evades. Lutz out to the near side with space. Stiff arms and gets to the 50-yard line. Strong run by Lutt, taken down once again by Skylar Springer, the small cornerback, and he gets a rousing ovation from the Lincoln Lutheran fans in front of us, but a strong run by Lutt. First down, Conestoga.
Yeah, Springer, once again, not the biggest guy out there, but nice job rallying up and bringing down a much bigger running quarterback on the sideline.
Final 2 minutes here for Conestoga. As we said, they scored late to break the shutout. Have scored only 1 touchdown in each of their last 4 games. They've got all 3 timeouts, but only 90 seconds left.
You know what Springer did there? He went low, got him at his knees. That's how, smaller guys, that's how we got to bring down some of those bigger ball carriers.
Low snap, Lutt under pressure, floats it up too tall, though, for Tesaric. Not a bad route. Tesaric had some space between a pair of defenders, including Iverson, the new quarterback for Lincoln Lutheran. But as we've seen all night, Andy, Lutz, doesn't matter which quarterback it was, but especially Lutt, he has seen some serious heat from this Warrior defensive front.
Yeah, the pass rush has just been there. The 4-down linemen have really been able to put in some good work for this Warrior defense. And, it's made things a lot easier for the linebackers especially. And then the secondary really haven't seen too much action.
No. Again, only a handful, less than half dozen completed passes by Conestoga in the game tonight. Final couple of plays, 45 seconds left from the midfield line. Last couple of cracks for the Cougars. Lutt has time this time, links up with Tesaric. Tesaric to the 30, space to the far side, and pushed out of bounds. No, he stays in bounds. Tesaric tackled in the end zone, touchdown. Conestoga, they come through in the final 30 seconds. Another late strike for the Cougars. 50 yards from Lutt to Tesaric. The shutout is broken with 30 seconds to go.
Tesaric, an excellent job just kind of leaking out on the right side, then just not being denied. Fights through an arm tackle on the sideline, then one right at the goal line. Good for the 6.
What a play. You know what? I'm not going to say I predicted it, Andy, but this is how Conestoga has worked the last couple of weeks. Again, you've got some reserves in there for Lincoln Lutheran. It's important to say, but still.
Yeah.
That was a great catch and run by Tesaric, and he was a guy who jumped out on film for me. Doesn't have a ton of catches this year for Conestoga. He's not as big of a piece as a guy like Miracle or Henry to this point of the year. And remember, Canfar's injured, so they've got a new kicker coming in is Janice Schroeder, and his PAT is good. So the first made kick by somebody not named Dylan Canfor this year for Conestoga. They're continuing to build for their final 3 games. They got something to smile about as they get ready to take their covered wagons back in our east.
Yeah, they really do. And Lutt did a nice job of not hurrying up that pass. He saw that his man was breaking free into Tesaric and just kind of floated it out there, let him run underneath of it, and then do the rest. Nice pass, catch, and run after that catch.
30 seconds left in regulation. Conestoga on the board here on News Channel Nebraska.
For over 40 years, Claybaugh Pharmacy has been your trusted, family-owned, full-service pharmacy. We provide traditional medical options, medical equipment, immunizations, and over-the-counter products. We take pride in going above and beyond to improve the health of our community. And to ensure you have a seamless experience, manage your profile and refills with a touch of the finger from home. Claybaugh Pharmacy in downtown Beatrice, your hometown family-owned pharmacy.
Logan Lutt fires his second touchdown pass of the season, 50 yards away. Grant Tesaric runs the final 30 and gets Conestoga on the board with 30 seconds left to play. A little bit of a consolation for Conestoga, sure, but a strong finish to this game. Short kick fielded shy of the end zone by the crowd favorite, Skylar Springer, shakes away, still going, and then is finally pulled down near the 25. Lost the ball at the end. It's loose. Conestoga thinks they've got it. I think they do as well. They're going to run the clock.
Hey.
Not sure either team will have the chance to possess the ball on offense. Lincoln Lutheran will hold on.
But you're seeing the never quit, never die attitude that's going to bode well for these Cougars moving forward. I mean, I hate to make excuses for them, but yes, they've been outgunned tonight. They don't have the numbers that a lot of C2 schools do, and they're still, you can see that within those growing pains of going from Class D1 back up to C2, 8-man, back up to 11-man.
Boone Elam was who recovered the fumble. He gets some cheers and the calls of Boone out from the student section to our right. But all cheers for Lincoln Lutheran tonight. A happy homecoming. Their shutout broken in the final 30 seconds, but all Warriors from the get-go tonight. 5 straight scoring drives ending in rushing touchdowns, including 4 by number 4. Henry Prokop with a career game, and Lincoln Lutheran powers past Conestoga. Their losing streak stretches to 7 dating back to the end of last year, and Lincoln Lutheran improves to 2-4. That'll do it for our game coverage, but plenty of post-game coverage coming up on News Channel Nebraska. We'll visit with the winning coach and our player of the game, and we'll look back at some of the plays of the game that led Lincoln Lutheran to this 42-7 win. Post-game show is next, but for now, for all of us here at News Channel Nebraska, including my partner Andy Klassen, I've been Tim Hackett. Thank you so much for watching. Post-game show is next. Lincoln Lutheran wins 42-7.
New home on the horizon? Loan it to own it. Need a new car to keep you moving? Loan it to own it. Looking for a new adventure? Loan it to own it with Liberty First Credit Union. Liberty First Credit Union is there for every step of your journey. Anyone can join to receive low payments and fixed rates to help get you through every new milestone. When you're ready to own it, loan it through Liberty First Credit Union.
Just finished an epic game? Keep the excitement going with a stop at Good To Go Convenience Store on your way home. Refuel with a fresh coffee. Grab a tasty sandwich and fill up your tank to be ready for the next adventure. Whether you're celebrating a win or discussing the highlights, Good To Go has all your post-game refreshments covered. Make it a part of your game day routine.
Good To Go post-game snacks.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of the pain, not just the symptoms. By Schaefer's, we are more than just TVs and appliances. And by Claybaugh Pharmacy, your locally owned hometown pharmacy.
When the game wraps up or even before kickoff, our community welcomes you with open arms. The Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau is happy to have you here, and we want to show you what we're all about. From wide open spaces to music, shopping, entertainment, and more, there is always something for you to discover in our city. Stop by the Visitors Center at 7th and P in the Haymarket or visit Lincoln.org. The Lincoln Convention and Visitors Bureau is a proud supporter of high school athletics.
Do you know when the worst time to find out your sump pump isn't working? The day you need it. At John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, we're offering a $59 sump pump inspection, so you won't have to find a watery surprise in your basement after a storm. For just $59, our licensed and experienced service professionals will examine your sump pump, inspecting its major components, to ensure your sump pump is ready and working when you need it most. Hurry, this offer won't last long. John Henry's, serving your family since 1996.
Darling, I believe everything's gonna be alright. No need to worry because you got somebody on your side. We all need a fam, we all need a crew. When you're in a jam, don't know what to do. Just reach out your hand and we'll see you through. Doesn't matter where you're at, we got your back. We got your back.
With a Medica health plan, you're not just covered, you're cared for.
Whether we're talking commercial or residential plumbing, Lamel Plumbing is the place you call. Lamel provides 24-hour emergency service as well. Call them if you get in a tight spot. And as for their retail items, well, you got to check out some of their faucets, some of their kitchen items, and some of their bathroom items like their Onyx showers. And hey, say you've got a digging job, you call Lamel Plumbing for that too. They've added a full-time crew for you, doing backhoe, trenching, and sewer work. Take that digging job off your list and have Lamel do it for you. That's Lamel Plumbing in Beatrice, now at their new location on North 7th Street in Beatrice.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Western Oil. Make your first and last stop to and from the game at your nearest Speedy Mart or Good to Go convenience stores today. Use Safe Pharmacy, dedicated to the well-being of all our customers. And by Zollner Ford Lincoln, proud to be your local Ford and Lincoln dealer.
Just finished an epic game? Keep the excitement going with a stop at Good to Go convenience store on your way home. Refuel with a fresh coffee. Grab a tasty sandwich and fill up your tank to be ready for the next adventure. Whether you're celebrating a win or discussing the highlights, Good to Go has all your post-game refreshments covered. Make it a part of your game day routine.
Good to Go post-game snacks.
Welcome back to Lincoln, Nebraska, where the Lincoln Lutheran Warriors are victorious, joined now by head coach Sean Wheating. Sean, you won this one going away. What are your initial thoughts, takeaways? It was homecoming. A lot was on the line.
Just so proud of these guys. They played their hearts out. They played an intense game, and that's how we prepare. We want to prepare in a way that's intense so that we can play good football on game nights, and these guys did exactly that.
You know, if you get into a scouting report on you guys run a real efficient offense through the air. Tonight, you did it on the ground. Could you kind of tell me about that?
Well, it's something that we know we're able to do. It's just, you know, we've just had the situations where it just looked like we needed to throw the ball a little bit more, but tonight was a night and that we could run the ball, and it's something that we want to do. We live in the state of Nebraska, which is intended to run the stinking football, and so that's what we wanted to do tonight.
Nice way to put that. Run the stinking ball, right?
Exactly.
On the other side of the ball, that defense got after it. I mean, it felt like every drive was going backwards, creating negative plays for the opposing offense.
Yes, the defense played great, and they just got after it. We want them to play fast, physical, and just play together and just rally to the football, and they did everything that we asked them to do, and it was fun to watch them play together and play warrior football for 4 quarters.
You had a really tough schedule to start off the season. You get a win like this halfway through. You're looking at a couple more, games that you're looking at. What does this kind of do for your team's confidence moving forward?
Well, it's obviously better to win than to lose. So we just want to take every rep for the rep itself and just get better every single time and just play warrior football and just be fast, physical, and together.
Heading into tonight, you guys had 2 rushing touchdowns. Henry Prokop had 4 himself. Can you tell me about him, tonight's player of the game, and what went into that rushing attack?
Henry's a good player, but he'll tell you himself he can't do it without the big boys up front, and the big boys got to move people, and they were efficient. We didn't have any penalties up front. The penalties are actually on the guys on the backside. But credit to those guys up front. They did well. They knew the snap count, and they were efficient with their blocking, with their assignments, and they communicated well too, and it was really great to see.
Coach, thank you for time. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, let's bring in our player of the game, Henry Prokop. Career night for the young man. 21 carries, 153 yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground. What was working for you? I mean, the easy answer was everything.
The offensive line played great, and our offense clicked, and excited for next week.
What does it mean to you personally, getting this big victory at home, homecoming night?
It's a great win for the team, and excited for next week.
Was it kind of a surprise to you? Early on, you guys had that first driver trying to move the ball through the air. Then from there on out, it was like you took over. Were you kind of surprised to see that, or were you kind of ready and waiting for it?
I think the line played great, and that was a key. So, but yeah, I couldn't have done it without them. So.
No, let's expand on that, because I kept going on to it in the broadcast. Those guys were opening up lanes for you. What does that do for a running back? You ran with great vision, but man, sometimes it looked like a truck could run through some of those holes.
Yeah, it's great having them. So that makes a big difference.
I asked Coach, I'm going to ask you the same question. What does a win like this at midseason do for the psyche of the team? Because it's all smiles around here. It's got to feel good.
It's great. It's great for momentum and great for going into next week for a win.
No doubt about it. Henry, congratulations on a career night.
Thank you.
All right, let's send it back up to the booth to wrap this one up.
Andy, thanks so much, and congratulations to Lincoln Lutheran. Love to see the whole team join the huddle there in the post-game interview. Tonight's player of the game, running back Henry Prokop, with a 4-touchdown night. 42-7 is your final score, with Lincoln Lutheran on top. Our top plays are next, brought to you by Currency. Does your business need financing for equipment, trucks, or trailers? All you need is Currency. Visit gocurrency.com. Thursday night football in the capital city, a Class C showdown district action between Lincoln Lutheran on homecoming night as they welcome in Conestoga. First matchup between these two teams in almost 20 years. And the story of the night, the running game for Lincoln Lutheran, typically one of the best passing teams in Class C action, but on the ground, they do a ton of damage in the first half. It's Braxton Glines, the quarterback, starting things off, and then running back Henry Prokop takes over. He had one rushing touchdown on the night before tonight, and tonight the guy wearing number 4 got into the end zone 4 times, and he did it on 4 straight possessions. There's number 2 for Prokop, running left side, 21-0 Lincoln Lutheran after one quarter. And the second quarter, more of the same. Prokop following his blocks, running right side, good kick out. Prokop into the end zone to complete the hat trick. More of the same later on in the second quarter for number 4. Glines the give, Prokop the run, shoulders away, across the end zone, touchdown number 4 for number 4. 35-0 Lincoln Lutheran. On to the second half. Finally, the passing game strikes. One of the top passing teams in Class C2 for Nebraska. Braxton Glines links up with one of his top targets, Costin Mall, 17-yard touchdown pass for those two. They link up once again. And Conestoga struggling, trying to move the ball on a bobbling catch. First catch of the year for Conestoga's number 14, Noah Egan. That gets them just their second first down of the game into the fourth quarter with the clock running. Conestoga continuing to move the ball. Logan Lutz, who did not start the game at quarterback but did have to come in mop-up duty, played very well in that role. Runs out left side for a first down. Gets a hit on him by Lincoln Lutheran's number 15, Skylar Springer, who was a crowd favorite. And then on one of the final plays of the game, in the final minutes of action, Lutz links up with Grant Tesaric. 50-yard catch and run gets Conestoga into the end zone for the first and only time in the game. The Cougars break the shutout bid in the final 30 seconds, but Lincoln Lutheran earns a walkover win on homecoming. Your final score, Lincoln Lutheran 42, Conestoga 7. And that's how it all shook out here tonight on News Channel Nebraska. Those 5 rushing touchdowns in a row between the first and second quarters by Lincoln Lutheran, 4 of them from Henry Prokop. That paves the way for a resounding win for Lincoln Lutheran on their homecoming night. So the Warriors are now 2-4, 1-1 in District 1. Up next, they've got Palmyra, which is 0-5, so the Warriors will be favored to win their second game in a row. Conestoga falls to 0-6, 0-2 in District 1 play. They've lost 7 games in a row, dating back to the end of last year. And up next, a tough duo of games for the Cougars. At home against Bishop Neumann, and then at home against Raymond Central. District 1 play the rest of the way. Once again, your final score tonight, Lincoln Lutheran all over Conestoga, 42-7. 7. That'll wrap up our coverage. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you've been joining us from. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this thing here for you. I'm excited to do some more going forward. So for our entire NCN crew, led by Danny Alvarado back at the truck, thank you very much to you, sir. It's been a pleasure. And for my partner up here, Andy Klassen, thanks for showing me the ropes. Thank you to all of you for watching and for tuning in wherever you've been tuning in from. So once again, for all of us here at NCN, thanks for watching. I've been Tim Hackett. We will see you next time. Until then, so long from Lincoln, where your final score, Lincoln Lutheran 42, Conestoga 7. Good night, and so long from Lincoln.
We now join regular programming on News Channel Nebraska.